Trollord Games. Join the fray.
Hopefully people can hear us if we do that. All right, hello, and welcome to the Trollord Games Twitch channel, where we are playing Pools of Narrheit, a Castles and Crusades streamed game, which is intended to be every Wednesday, but then last week I got sick, so I apologize for that. But we are very capable of making up for lost time that we missed last week. So, who wants to do a slight recap?
We already got a volunteer.
Yeah, I guess we had a volunteer.
Yeah, it's all in the chat earlier, right?
That'd be you, George.
All right. So, when we last left our brave adventures, consisting of Jake Tilldor, of course, we were in a cavern, a large cavern, fighting these centipede-like creatures, and I believe our monk and someone else was afflicted by being slowly turned to stone. And we drugged them over to a green mist that was around a door, but not to the door. We were very specific, not to the door, just near the door. And it reversed the stone effects. That's what I remember. Anyone else got more?
Don't forget, I got somebody to eat an eyeball.
Oh, that's right. Right, the centipede eyeball.
The highlight of the session, well, right?
I don't know if that was the highlight.
It was the highlight for Rekmit.
Rekmit Hill was actually pretty much the highlight.
Okay, so what do you want it to... Well, so what happened at the beginning of the session, though? You made your way through a very strange area, right? What was wrong outside?
Mushrooms were replacing trees.
Mushrooms were all over, and moss. Some
yes.
odd moss.
Moss.
Yeah.
And some flying things that no one wanted me to disturb.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we were going to check them out, but then...
But then what happened? They said no. They walked away.
Yeah, we decided not to.
Yeah, that was probably a good move, actually. But you might see him on the way back. Who knows, right? So I didn't actually introduce myself. I am Sam, and I'm your castle keeper for the evening. So do the rest of you want to introduce yourselves real quick? Say your name and what character you play, and what your main goal is, what your main motivation is, maybe?
Yeah, hi, my name is Matt, everybody. Good to see you again. I will be playing Zinolestimus Faye, who is our sturdy monk.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'll be playing Leanise Wollender, who is an Oraalau, so basically a high elf magic user fighter.
I'm Richard Clayton. I'm playing Burnie Cohlm, our human fighter, looking to avoid some boredom, basically.
I'm George Hardy. I'll be playing Jake Tilldor, Cleric of Durendale.
Nice.
I'm Alex, and I'll be playing Burt Longfellow, little halfling rogue.
Excellent. Yep.
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I'm Robert playing Rekmit Sourbeard, a Dwarven Runemark, trying to find more information on the language of creation.
Sorry, I thought you went first. See, I'm all over the place.
I usually do.
So, okay. Well then, what do you want to do? You are now standing in a large cavern that has a dead centipede body in it. Very large, very, very large dead centipede. The three smaller centipedes that were completely enamored, did you do away with them or did you leave them alive? I can't remember at the end of the session.
I think we had actually even done another little thing over there to keep them enamored.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if I threw another lure over there or not. I think I might.
Well, at least you had one ready to throw. So
I think that was it. We ended at that session where they were still finishing out the time on the last lure, and I had another one ready to throw if they came to it, and the other guys were pulling the two petrifying party members.
Yeah.
And then we were arguing whether or not to grab one of the current stone ones and pull it in there too.
Yeah, I didn't have that we killed them.
Okay.
I would think we might want to kill them because this one we just killed may have started out as one of those.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, it may have been something that happened along the way, but it maybe they grow into these. So
we also may be able to hide in the mist and see if they come towards the mist or not. If they can actually get through the mist, they have to stay outside of it. That may allow us to pick them off.
So if we attack them while they're captivated, does that break the rune?
They will get a save at an enhanced value. There is a better likelihood that they will stop caring about that nice little shiny rock.
what if I just pour a well on them? Will that bring them out of it before I throw it? Before I set them on fire, or?
Well, why don't we kill two of them, and then we can play around with the last one.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so
Leanise was over here because Leanise is now feeling like I can do all sorts of things now. I survived being petrified.
right.
She can move.
Yes.
So who wants to try to you want to lure one away, or do you just want to try to kill it without it getting a chance to react? What's your plan?
I'm really up for killing without getting a chance to react.
Me too.
I'm not really into being sporting with centipedes.
You mean you don't want to give it a fighting chance?
Not against me, I don't.
Okay, well
I'll
you
take bets if anyone else wants to.
Yeah, I mean you can roll me a dexterity check, and then you can roll me an attack roll if you want to try to sneak up on it without it noticing and attack it.
Okay. Yeah, it can be a little short.
Okay.
15 total.
Go ahead and roll me the attack roll as well.
And that'll be a 19.
Okay. Go ahead and roll some damage. And we'll figure out what kind of response this thing has here.
That's 10 points of damage.
Okay. Let me make a roll here. Oh, yeah. So, what kind of weapon are you using?
I'm using a two-handed bearded axe.
Okay. You take that axe and you try to swing it and hit in a place where two of the carapace pieces of the centipede are kind of meeting. That way you can get in between them. But just at the last moment, the thing moves a little bit, and so you hit it and you do some damage, but it doesn't, unfortunately, kill it.
Okay.
So now it can turn to you, and so I think we're going to have to roll initiative again because it will attack you, and I need to know if you are going to beat my initiative. Anybody else who wants to get involved in this can also roll initiative. I rolled 2.
So are we doing individual or group?
Let's do individual for this, just because he took an action, and right now only one of those centipedes is away. Because I think we decided last time also that we wanted to do individual for a couple of sessions.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wait till we're like level 3 or something. Then flip
Oh,
back.
was it? Okay. Yeah, you can do side initiative then. What did Burnie roll?
I rolled a 4.
Okay, so you won initiative. You can take another swing at this thing. Is anybody else going to do anything though while he's engaging with this now intensified creature that is looking at him?
Well, Leanise is going to.
So Zeno,
That's 10.
What's Zeno doing? Sorry.
well, I think Leanise was shooting the bow. Zeno's not. It's turned to stone anymore, right? He got his feet dipped in the green mist.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna head over to. This corridor right here, just in case he needs some help, and to make sure nothing else is coming our way.
Okay. Okay. Leanise, you want to roll your attack roll?
Yep.
And Burnie, are you going to attack again?
14 would be
Did. I got a 10 total.
So I got a 16 total.
So
Or actually,
Leanise,
17 total.
Leanise is going to hit, but Burnie did not hit.
And total is 6 points of damage.
Okay. Okay, so Burnie swings his axe again, and because the centipede is focused on him, it can sort of move out of the way, but Leanise, being quick-acting, shoots an arrow and dispatches the creature, even though Burnie missed. The other 2 centipedes have turned, and they appear to be looking at Burnie, but they also are they're kind of moving in that way that a charmed cobra moves, right? When you see a charmed cobra and they're sort of dancing in front of the person playing the flute, that's
Right.
kind of how they're moving. But instead of focusing on whatever it was that Rekmit put his rune on, they actually are looking right at Burnie now and just kind of swaying there. But they're not attacking.
So now maybe you could lead it into the mist.
Oh.
Hey, Samuel, they're saying in Twitch your microphone could use maybe a little bump up in volume.
Okay. How about now? How about now? Part of it's that I'm far away from it.
I'll tell you if they say anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, you are still a little quiet compared to others.
Well, I'm definitely not going to look them in the eye. Um, so, So, Leonidas, let's go for the one closest to you.
Okay. Shoot at that one.
And I'm going to attack.
Keeping the same initiative. Sam, we're doing this.
Is it our
yeah.
attack?
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Okay.
Sorry.
21, so that'll hit.
12.
The 21 does hit, the 12 does not.
And 4 points of damage on it. Another arrow comes towards it.
That arrow sticks into the creature and it just stays there. Just. And now it's swaying with the arrow in it. What are the rest of you doing?
Burt will head over
Burnie, it's your pet.
this corridor on the eastern side and just kind of keep an ear out for anything coming.
Okay.
And Rekmit the arch mist and see what's behind it.
You're gonna walk through it, or you're just gonna try to look through it?
I'll poke my head through.
All
But
you really.
You're forward first to see if there's anything behind it.
So you poke your head in, and there's not a wall behind it, but all you see is mist.
The mist continues down whatever it's corner or whatever. I can't tell. Okay.
You can't tell what it is. All you see is mist, but so it's not a solid object. It's not. You're not hitting a wall. There's not a wall beyond it. It's just mist, but you can't really. It's obscuring your vision to such an extent that you can't really tell what's beyond. It feels like there might be a passageway just because you're not running into anything, but yeah.
Zeno is going to go behind this rock over here from where the centipedes came from, just to make sure there's no more hiding out back there. Cautiously.
Okay.
Okay. When it's our turn, I'll hit again.
So this second one is still entranced, basically.
Yeah, except entranced with Burnie now, not entranced with the...
Oh, that's okay. Just stay there, Burnie.
Just stand there. It's okay.
Yeah.
But it doesn't attack. Okay, no.
Nope.
Shoot another arrow at it.
Okay, we'll take another swing.
Guessing 7 misses.
19.
7 does miss. 19 hits. Rekmit, you still have your head stuck in there, or are you doing something else?
And that'll be for 14 points of damage.
Ooh, ouch.
Okay.
What I will do is I will pull out my rapier and try and see if the ground, if it goes over to a wall or something, just to try and see if there's anything solid on the ground or the walls, or if it just opens up into nothing.
As you're pulling out that to try to swing it around, the mist, for a brief moment, almost solidifies in front of you and turns your vision entirely green. And then it's just a split second, and then that goes away. Meanwhile, the second centipede of the 3 is now fallen on the ground and died. The third one is still swaying.
Okay.
Yep.
Is Zeno seeing anything to the west?
How far are you going?
Right where my token is.
Okay. Are you seeing anything? Let's see. Yes, you see that... Move the map over just a little bit. what you see is this opens out a little bit, sort of an almost circular room. This comes up here, and this comes up here. And over in this corner, you see sort of a greenish pool. It looks like there are some things on the edge of the pool, on the ground on the edge of the pool, but you can't tell what they are from this distance. So you'll have to get closer if you want to see that. And Burt,
Things like
Burt does not
the
see.
things on the ground. Are they moving or are they stationary?
They are stationary. Burt does not see nor hear anything.
Okay, Burt might creep up and poke his head down the corridor a bit to see if he sees anything.
Okay.
Go to the edge there.
Roll me a dex check.
That's a 5.
Okay. You don't, in fact, see anything. You do see that the passageway kind of narrows a little bit, but it just looks like a sort of generic, regular passageway.
Okay.
What did Zeno ask about the things on the ground? They're not moving.
Just if they were moving or not.
Okay. Yeah, no, they're not moving. You'll have to get a little closer if you want to do any more inspection than that. What's Jake doing all this time?
I'm not following.
You mean you don't want to split the party and go into a room with a green pool?
I'm not falling for that, Daniel.
Strange objects in it.
Jacob's just going to be staying in this big room, waiting for the next call of action to wherever.
Okay. What are you now doing? What's everyone doing? Burnie, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, when it's my turn, I'm going to hit that thing again, or hit the last one, or try to hit it. I guess I should say.
Is Leanise also firing at it?
Indeed.
Okay. Why don't you both go ahead and make your attack rolls?
Oh,
that was a little wide.
Yeah, rolled a 1.
I did better than you. Did a 2.
Okay. So that was what'd Leanise get?
2.
Okay. The creature is still swaying, but it is a little bit less active now. It's not moving as much. It's almost like it's stopped moving, but it's still looking right at Burnie. Rekmit, when you try to move around and see if there's anything there, it does feel like there's walls to your left and your right, about 3 or 4 feet away from you on either side.
Was there any kind of flooring?
Yeah, there's floor too.
Yeah, then I'm going to back out of the mist.
Okay. All right. What else? You want to attack?
Zeno's going to go back around.
Yes.
Okay. Zeno, you're going to come back around with the group?
Yeah, I'm going to come back around, let everybody know I found a little green pool, corridor up to the north.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack rolls.
Got another 1.
See if we can finish this thing again. Yeah, got a 7.
That's right.
Yeah, this one
Best to get him.
It stopped moving, so now it's harder to hit, apparently.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're its new mother.
Best to get them out of the way, Burnie. The ones when it's not attacking back.
So if you're going to keep attacking, eventually you will both kill this thing.
Okay.
Okay, so and it probably will not ever attack you back just based on my rolls. So I'm going to go ahead and say we don't have to keep excruciatingly watch you roll a 1 because now you've rolled 2 of them. And in
Talented that way.
Yeah, so in my game, the thing is that when you roll a 1, that triggers equipment wastage.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the next time you all take a rest, you might be inspecting your equipment to see if anything is happening to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I recover arrows?
Yeah, you can recover arrows because it's just right there, and they didn't run anywhere, so you can do that.
Right.
Did we dissect the big centipede at all for like poison sacs or any cool centipede teeth or anything?
You took the eyes out.
And they ate
somebody ate one of the eyes.
Well, I think no, somebody ate both of the eyes.
Both of them, yes. Both of them. Just for those watching, towards the latter part of this game, we are going to be actually giving away a free PDF of choice from the Troll Lord Game Store. So there's some incentive to stick around and see how many of my players have their PCs get killed. I mean, stick around and maybe win a free PDF. So it appears there are no other threats, at least imminent threats, around you. What would you all like to do?
All right.
Good job, Burnie.
Thank you.
Where are you from, by the way?
Did Burt find anything to the east?
Nope.
Just looked like it was just a corridor, yeah.
Got it on here.
Perhaps we should check this green pool before we enter this door of mist.
Yeah, I come from the north side of the continent. I sailed up here to see what adventure I could find.
So you're new to Indel,
Yes.
Burnie, come with me.
Pools of green. Let's go.
I need to add some sound effects. Yeah.
Well, I'll take care of
I
that.
expect this pool may be the lair where they were growing.
So
before we get close enough for these eggs to explode, can we make out what they are?
they look like eggs, actually. They do.
Okay.
The pool is... it appears to be bubbling, like kind of roiling, not bubbling like hot. There's not steam coming out of it, but just churning.
Does it look like it's churning caused by things moving within it, or just like gases, or potentially like acid gases or something?
It's hard to tell. Potentially gases. It's not splashing like something's moving. It's just kind of roiling like. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Like a rolling boil.
Yeah, but it's not hot.
Okay.
I think someone should go stick their face above one of those eggs, and that someone's not going to be me.
Leanise will be looking down the corridor to the north. Just keeping an eye out.
As you look to the north, you see that there is a large amount of water on the ground up there. And it appears like there is a sort of almost makeshift waterfall that's occurring in that region. You hear it once you notice the water and you kind of look a little farther, you realize there is some water movement up there. It's not coming into this part of the cavern, but there's definitely something going on in terms of water up there.
Okay. I'll just let everyone know there's a pool of water up here, maybe a waterfall.
So Zeno is going to cautiously approach the eggs, and I'm on guard for anything exploding out of the pool, but I'm gonna pick up one of the eggs.
Okay, so when you walk over there closer to the eggs, you look around the pool and you notice that there are eggs. The eggs are about probably 6-8 inches around. They're almost perfectly round. And as you look around, they are all over this little cavern. It's not a very big cavern, and the pool of whatever kind of fluid that is takes up the majority of the cavern. But around the cavern, there are just clumps of these eggs all over. And every once in a while, you catch the sight out of the corner of your eye of a little drop. And if it causes you to look up, you see there are eggs attached all over the ceiling. And then it dawns on you, the walls of this cavern are eggs with some kind of weird slimy coating on them that it almost makes it look smooth. But as you get a little bit closer and you look at it, this entire place is covered with eggs.
Ooh.
That's not good.
Okay, so more centipedes to come, or we could take the several hours it would take to kill all of these.
How big are the eggs?
They're about 6 or 8 inches
Six.
round in the middle, yeah. And they're almost perfectly round.
How does that track
There are
from,
eggs everywhere.
but like the baby ones that we killed, or that Burnie killed, Burnie and Leanise killed, would it seem like they would fit into an egg that size, or not?
Not at the size that you have seen them at. And the centipede shells that you found in the other place were about 12 inches at their widest. So that's also bigger than these eggs.
Way bigger than these eggs.
You know, one thing we didn't do was try and take one of those statues and pull it into the mist and see if we could unpetrify the sad victims from before.
No, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. We never actually did.
We could try it.
All right. Well, Zeno is going to grab one of the eggs that's at the very edge. Hopefully, that's not touching any of the others to cause a chain reaction. But he's going to try to pull it free and take it with him.
Okay. You can do that. You feel that it has a kind of a leathery kind of feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Bird eggs have a hard, like, calcium shell, right? It's a calcium silicate, right? And salamanders have a real, like, jelly shell. It's just sort of this membranous thing, and it's got jelly in the middle of it.
Yep.
And reptiles have a more leathery egg. So it feels kind of soft. It's not solid like a bird's egg. It's more soft like a reptile egg would be. So it kind of feels like it has a leathery skin.
All right. Well, I will pocket that and then head up north with Leanise.
Okay. Anybody else going up there or into the pool room?
Do we want to head north, or do we want to try a statue first?
Leanise is just guarding, just making sure nothing's coming down. So she shouts, "Hey, if you want to go try one of the statues."
I'd vote for statue.
Yeah, I think the waterfall to the north is the river that was rolling underneath the rock that we found.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So if we rule out there's nothing to the north, then we don't have to worry about anything coming up behind us.
That's true, yeah.
Well, Leanise can see, because I'm assuming, is it dark down here, or do we have that light green? Or was there some moss glowing, right?
The Archway Mist is glowing more than a lot of moss. There is some moss in this room that's kind of glowing, but once you started fighting the centipedes, it kind of died down. I will say that there is a glow coming from the green pool, so that's, it's not a huge bright light, but it is emanating something.
Right.
So what is it that you're going to try with the statues?
Nothing yet. I think let's go check up to the north real quick. We're just gonna
Okay.
go a little bit further so we can see what's up there.
Yeah,
Okay.
cleared up.
Okay. You walk up there and you really just see it sort of widens out a little bit and then swings back around. And there is a sort of basically a hole right here. And pouring into that is water coming from this area over here and coming down and pouring down this hole. And as it comes down, it's actually moving pretty swiftly through this little channel here from under the wall here. It does look like it comes from roughly the same area, or it could have meandered there from that river that you saw previously. But as it comes in here and it tumbles around, as it goes to turn down into the waterfall, it sort of, some water spills out. So this is a quite wet cavern over here. But all you kind of see is the rushing river stream area going into a hole in the ground.
Okay.
Is the hole completely engulfed by the water, or is there like some kind of opening that you can look down?
You could probably go look down it. It's pretty slippery over there, so it's not completely engulfed, no, but it's not huge either. It's probably 5-6 feet in diameter.
Well, I'm willing to go check if anyone wants to put a rope around me.
I'm gonna say, yeah, whoever goes, she get a rope tied around him.
Sure.
Or Jake could go, Burt could go check it out.
Yeah, I can go check it out. I'm light, so at least you guys have a
You want a rope?
pull me with. Yeah, but tie a rope around me first. Or I'll tie a rope around myself.
So, who's going actually?
I think Burt said he was going.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
Bo's going, but we've got a rope around him just in case you fall.
Whoever's strong should hold that rope.
Okay.
Says not me.
Burt goes up to the hole and just sees all you can see is water, and you see it's falling for quite a distance. The rushing is so loud that you can't even tell like how far down it is before the water hits the next layer, if it even does.
Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking about dropping a stone or something, but yeah, you're right, we won't be able to tell. Okay, I'll come back and just kind of know what I saw.
Bert, do you see anything else over there on the walls or anything?
Take a look around at the walls. Is there anything exciting about them?
You don't really see anything of any consequence. Not really, no. I mean, it's just a cavern wall. Doesn't look like it's been disturbed. It looks pretty natural.
And these aren't eggs anymore, right? In this room, it's just stone wall?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so we will pull him back, or he can walk back if he doesn't need to be pulled. And I guess let's go throw a statue into the mist, huh?
It's like a good idea.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Is it- So I'm going to ask Rekmit or Leanise if they need any of these centipede components for their magic dealings.
Yeah, Leanise has been collecting bits and pieces and crushing up bits of carapace and what have you.
Okay.
Hey, Burnie, do you want me to move your token for you? Because I'm always going to put you in front.
Is there anything in particular that Leanise is collecting?
So she will collect bits of carapace and break them up so she's got powder, or small bits she can crush into powder.
Okay.
Also collect, assume there's some skin there. Let's see, she hasn't got any vials, so she can't collect any of the blood stuff. These things have teeth?
They have... So, not really. They have what are called vomerin teeth, which are teeth that come right out of the jaw. So if you want the teeth, you got to take the whole jaw.
Okay. Oh, maybe the small one. I'll... Actually, how big are the small ones? How big is the head?
Yeah, the head is probably they're roughly the size of the carapaces that you saw back in the other temple. So they're about each of their segments is about 12 inches, like the size of a plate almost.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
And they're about 10 or 15 segments long, so they're
Yeah. But I'll take one of the head segments. Like I'll cut off one of the head segments. Spend some time doing that.
Would Rekmit know if there's any alchemical properties that he could use from any of these things?
So typically you would probably understand that giant centipedes are often poisonous. You do not know if these three are, especially given that the Big Daddy was had some kind of weird paralyzing sight. But they're possibly, if you had something to collect the blood or some bodily fluids in, you might be able to tell a little bit easier.
I haven't used any of our potions, so probably not. Okay, cool.
So are we going to move the statues into the green mist or not?
Are there any of the statues that look relatively undamaged?
Every statue has damage. They're all either missing like pieces of arms, or they've got bites out of shoulders, or the knees and legs have been bitten on.
So that would.
Can you remind us?
It would be a cruel thing to energize one of these.
Can you remind us what statues we have again?
Yeah, there is. Let's see. Did I tell you what you had before? Or did I just say
I think
statues?
you said, yeah, you just. I think you described a couple of them.
Yeah, the actors were the four. I thought there were 4 dwarves, weren't they?
Yeah, they're all dwarves. I'm just trying to remember if I described, because they were very damaged and they're not wearing clothing that looks recent, if that makes sense. They look like they're wearing... I mean, now, there aren't a ton of dwarves on this island, so if anybody's only been on this island, pretty much the dwarves that they know about are Rekmit and his people. But there are other dwarves around, but, you know, fashion kind of changes, and even though dwarves tend to wear very similar types of styles, what these dwarves are wearing looks old to your eyes. It's hard to tell exactly how old, but it just feels like they're wearing, you know, clothing that has not been in style for a really long time.
Is there a statue that has like a small amount of damage, like maybe a bite or something that Jake might be able to heal up?
I mean, it's possible. You can identify the one with the least amount of damage for sure. It just has it's missing one hand.
All right, we'll move that guy over to the mist.
I have a question. That hand that I had, that hand piece, wouldn't happen to look like it fits on this one, does it? No. That's the one I described.
Yeah, not particularly.
We could tie it on there, and maybe he'll heal with a hand.
Yeah, it's hard to say because, you know, where the hand is missing on the statue that I'm talking about, it's been bitten off, not broken off. So it's hard to say because that means the end is bite marks, right?
Okay, then I will prepare a bandage to put on the stump if it de-paralyzes or petrifies.
Okay. All right.
Then we'll drag it towards the mist.
Okay. Is anyone going to go into the mist with it, or are you just going to sort of push it, or are you going to lay it down? How are you going about this?
Well, when we went over, we were just near the mist.
Yeah, the mist kind of was at your backs and was close enough that it could sort of waft to you.
Now, when I went into it, guys, it was a little weird. And beyond it was even weirder. It's like at one point when I put my face in and pulled out, it flashed green. So maybe we want to lay it down and just kind of push it in.
Sure.
I like that idea. Yeah, keeping us away.
Sounds like a good idea. We'll push it in with the part with the broken hand farthest away, so that'll heal last. So hopefully he won't be in pain.
Okay. You push the statue in, and you wait a couple minutes, and it doesn't look like anything is happening.
Maybe it doesn't work on fully petrified then.
Let's push him a little more of the ways in. So is he? Would he be considered in the center of the mist right now?
Sure, you can push him into the center.
And still nothing happens?
Doesn't look like it. I mean, it does appear that the mist is like sticking to the statue. You know how sort of if you're walking outside and it's kind of misty outside, if you wear glasses, your glasses get kind of droplets on them, even though it's not really raining. That's kind of what's happening to the statue.
Maybe it'll just take a bit. Maybe we leave him there for a bit.
Yeah. Should we go check out the east real quick? I think that east corridor goes back to the where we found that original statue.
Yeah, I suspect it may do too.
I think it leaks around, yeah.
But you should go check, make sure.
Okay.
It does indeed loop back to the other entryway. About another 80 or so feet, and you hit that other four-way intersection.
Where the exits or...
So this comes down like this. Yeah, and there's about 80 feet. And it goes into here.
All right, so the only way we haven't gone is through the Misty Door.
Yeah.
Or down the water.
Oh, yeah.
So the door, does it have a latch?
What door?
The door behind the green mist.
So when Rekmit stuck his face in there, he didn't feel a door.
Ah, okay. So we just assumed there was a door. It just looks like there's a door.
It looks like a doorway. It looks like a door, but with mist in front of it. But when Rekmit when Rekmit stuck his face in there and looked and moved a weapon around and whatnot, there was no door.
There was definitely floors and walls about 4 to 5 feet wide. If we want to try and go in there, then it's just one person goes in tied with a rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
We want to check that out. I don't know.
Before we do that, is our dwarf in the doorway? Did anything happen to him while we went down to the corridor and checked and came back?
I mean, it's only been 3 or 4 minutes. Doesn't seem like anything has changed.
I'm going to put the centipede egg that I have through the mist.
Okay, as in like rolling it through, or?
As in sticking my hand through it.
Oh.
Okay. Just holding the egg in it, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing happens.
All right, tie me off.
Right, so we tie a rope around you.
All right.
And I will walk through the mist.
Okay. As you're walking through it, you feel like you're walking about 5 feet through this mist. Okay. And for about 5 feet, all you see is mist. It occludes your vision so that you cannot see anything else. But after about 5 feet, you kind of walk out of the mist, and you now find yourself in a stone hallway that is obviously it's a manufactured hallway. It was made with large stone blocks. They're granite. Now remember, this cave that you've been in this entire time was just a cave system. It was not a built system. This is a built hallway. And it's about 10 feet wide, roughly. and about 10 feet long. And at the end of that 10 feet, you actually see stone doors. And those stone doors actually look like the image of what you saw in the mist. When you look at the mist and it looks like there's doors there, but there's actually no doors. The doors are now 10 feet in front of you, and they are made of stone. They're very nondescript. There's no markings on them. There is a door handle. It's double doors. And there's a door handle on each side, as if you could open them up with both hands.
There is a doorway on the other side of the mist. Come, it is a worked passage. Send Alex through.
None of you hear that.
You there?
To the rest of you, he walked through, and he's been gone for about 10 minutes.
He's got a rope on him?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to give it a tug or two, maybe?
Yeah, let's give it a gentle tug.
Zeno, you feel the rope tug on you.
When I turn around, can I see them through the mist?
Nope. When you turn around and you look
What
at
do
the
I
mist,
see?
you see what looks like a stone door in the mist.
So there is no mist. There is no mist when I turn around?
No, you see the mist, and you basically see, when you look at it from this direction, you see the same exact thing that you saw from the other direction. You see a misty archway with a door, what looks like a door behind it.
I'm going to gently tug on the rope back.
Okay, getting that tug, I'm going to go through.
Okay.
Tug means pull him out.
Was Burnie the one holding?
Yeah, who was holding the rope?
Oh, Leanise was.
Okay. And you walked through when you felt the tug?
No, Leanise was just like, hey, he's
I
still
mean,
there.
I pulled on the rope. I said I was going to grab hold of the rope and give it a light tug.
Right.
So when he tugged back, I figured he must be fine, and I'm going to walk through.
Okay. Burnie, you walk through the mist, and the mist is a real thick area. It's about 5 feet wide, and you don't see anything around you as you're walking through other than the mist itself.
Okay.
And then as you step on the other side, you now find yourself in a hallway that is about 10 feet wide and 10 feet long, and at the end of it is a set of stone doors. Zeno is not there.
Okay.
That made everyone shut up.
Well, I'll go up to the stone doors and take a look at them.
Three-way party split.
Yeah.
It's always good.
So all
And
the rest of
since
you,
nobody's come after,
yeah. So all the rest of you, you see Burnie go into the mist, and
Burnie?
it's just gone.
Burnie? Zeno?
Zeno, nobody shows
Since
up
no one
after,
is-
after you tug on the rope.
yeah, since nobody showed up, I'm going to turn around and pull myself on the rope back, try to exit the mist, and
Okay.
tell them what I saw.
Okay. You come out through the mist. Once again, it feels like a very thick mist as you go through 5 feet, and then you get out of it, and everybody's standing there in that same chamber with the statues. The statue's still laying in the mist.
So, Zeno, did you see
When I
Burnie?
went through the mist, I found a worked corridor with a stone door in it.
Is Burnie still in there?
No, Burnie is with you. I left him with you.
No. When you
went out.
rope, he went in to follow you.
I did not see him, and I came out exactly the way I went in.
That's interesting.
No one appeared in the doorway where I was.
I wonder if you go through and someone's holding your shoulder, if they go through with you, or definitely something weird going on here.
Yeah. Good news is you told us we can get back through.
Well, he was
Should I go through and look for him again?
Yeah, but see if someone else goes with. We should have 2 or 3 of us go through.
I would say either Burt should go or I'll go, but I'll like wrap myself in the rope and put my hand on his shoulder as I walk through.
Yeah.
Now,
Let
Burnie,
us go forth, my dwarven friend.
Burnie, did you say you were going to go forward and open the door?
I said I was going to go forward and check it out.
Okay. Describe checking it out. What are you checking?
Well, I'm going to go up. I'm gonna look at it and see if it looks like it's just a regular door. Is there a handle on it? Does it have a lock? You know, does it look like I can just open it and go through it?
It is a set of double doors. It's made of stone, so it looks very heavy, but it doesn't look like it has much of a locking mechanism, if any at all. It just has 2 handles so that you could pull each door if you wanted to.
Okay.
Who's going through the mist this time?
Zeno and Rekmit.
And I'm essentially going to take rope and not tie it to myself, but like put it around myself, put my hand on Zeno's shoulder.
Okay.
We walk, follow him through.
So the 2 of you go through, and you find yourself stepping through 5 feet of thick mist, and you get to the other side, and you're both together. You do notice, too, that...
I told you, my friend.
As you walk through, it seems like that statue is not laying there. Like when you're outside, when you're on the outside in the cavern and you're looking at it, you see the statue in the middle of that mist. But as you walk through, it's like that statue is not there.
Quite troubling.
I told you, my friend, Burnie is nowhere to be found.
That's a definite concern I have. Burnie should be here. We both made it, but we were both connected, and I was holding on to you to make sure of it. I thought he was holding the rope as he came in, but he might have let go, and some kind of weird teleportal thing. Some just
Are you
oddity.
sure he followed me? He didn't go back to the pool with the green room, or?
No, he came through and did not come back out. I'm gonna look around. Do I see anything that looks strange in here? And I'll also mention that, you know, it's like, and if you notice, you can see the stone doors through the mist, but we don't see the statue that we put in the mist.
I see. Can you tell anything from this construction?
I will look at the construction of the, I guess, walls and the door itself.
It is
Around me.
the walls and the doors are very old style, high quality dwarven construction.
Are there any hinges to indicate which way the doors go? Pull in or out?
The doors pull out.
They do pull out, okay.
Before we proceed any further, we should get Burt to come check these doors.
We should, but we also need to find out what's going on with Burnie. I don't know if we should proceed without giving a chance to come back through. Alright. Do you want us both to go back, or do you want me to rotate myself around through the rope out? See if anything strange
Perhaps
happens.
if someone walks through and doesn't hold the rope like Burnie did, they will end up where he went.
He could end up where he went, or it might be separate pockets of... I don't know. We don't even know if he came with... We don't even know if he ended up in the same place you did, or at least we just know he went through the mist.
He actually was using the rope as a guide, if you recall.
Yeah, but once he gets in the mist, we couldn't see him, so we don't know.
Right.
Which hence why I rolled myself in the rope. All right, well,
Let us exit and tell everyone else what we've
Having kind of examined the door, and nobody else has come in yet, Burnie's going to go back out to tell him to hurry up.
What are you waiting for?
Okay.
Yeah, we're losing time. He's already taken off. He's through the door, so let's go.
So, Burnie, you go back out, and everyone is there except Rekmit and Zeno.
Okay. Wow. Where'd the other two go?
Went in the mist. So it seems every time you go in the mist, maybe you end up somewhere different.
Okay, sounds interesting.
Are the two of you coming back?
So
Or are you waiting for a while? What do you do?
I
Zeno,
think we are coming back, but
or do you want us both to go back?
let's go. Let's both go back, but I'm gonna put an X on the wall with the chalk that I have.
Good idea. That way, if we come back in, we'll know it's the same place.
Which wall?
The wall to the east.
Okay. And then both of you exit?
Yeah.
Okay. About a minute after Burnie comes out, Rekmit and Zeno come walking out. And now you're all back together in the large cavern.
Where were you?
So Leanise asks them, so how long do you think you were gone?
10 minutes?
Okay.
How long does Rekmit think he was in there this last time?
I mean, you checked out the doors, you were doing an evaluation, probably about 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, seems about
Is the dwarven statue still laying on the floor?
From here you can see it, yeah. It's laying on the ground in the mist.
One thing Zeno and I noticed is when we were on the other side and I explained the hallway. Oh crap!
The dogs want to play.
Yes. They want to go through the green mist.
Send in the dogs.
I'll say we could not see the statue from the other side, and I'll explain what we saw to Burnie and see if it matches up with what he was seeing with respect to the walls and the door.
Burnie, what they describe about the walls and the door sounds like exactly what you looked at.
Yeah. Yep, that sounds like where I was.
It appears we should go through the mist together.
Yes.
Yeah,
For sure.
and I would think if we go through together and that doesn't work and we wind up in there in smaller groups or separate,
You head back.
let's just all go through the door.
Oh.
I'm for this plan. I like it.
Sounds like a plan. As long as we're doing the same thing, what could go wrong?
Definitely. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I now agree with this one.
We should probably put a spike in and tie the rope fast. Close to the mist.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
let's
Make
pull
sure
the
we're
rope in. Well,
Say that
And
again.
maybe we can make a chalk line as well. A line with the chalk.
and let's also pull the. Well, Zeno did mark chalk on the inside, so if we all go in, we'll know if we're in the same place or if this is some weird. I don't know what's happening. But let's pull that statue out of the green mist as well.
Pull it out onto the side with the doors or out into the cavern?
Into the cavern.
Okay.
Unless you guys think we should just take it all the way through, but it's already going to be crowded in there.
No.
Yeah, maybe not take
Yeah. Doesn't look like it's doing anything.
So when we all go through, let's make sure that we're all touching.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to pull the statue
Yeah.
out into the cavern, and then you're all going to hold on to each other, either touching shoulders or arms or whatever, and you're going to walk through together.
And
Link arms and charge on through.
Jake mentioned we're going to put a spike in the ground and tie the rope to it, so it's grounded back to this point outside too.
Okay.
Okay. And you're going to make a chalk line as you go through?
Someone I believe said they were going to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, you do all that, and a few minutes later, all of you are standing in the hallway with the doors on one end and the green mist on the other.
Where's
These
the
were the doors I was talking about.
Yep, they're the ones I saw.
Is the chalk mark?
Is there a...
Where's the
There is no chalk mark on the east wall. There is one on the west wall.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
So I'm going to draw a circle on the east wall.
Okay.
And for
So
all
there
we
should
know,
be an X on the west wall and a circle on the east wall.
this is an ancient dwarven construction.
Ooh, thanks for that info.
Burt,
Yes.
traps before
Yeah.
we try to
Go ahead and, check the doors for any traps.
My impulse is to just open them up or pull them open.
Sure.
Mine too.
So
Go ahead and roll that check.
That'll be 12 or 13 total, and that is prime.
Yeah, let me see my notes here.
So write something above the or in the circle or something, because if we write, we can see if it's a mirrored version of it or something like that. You know, with a circle, you can't tell if the circle. You know, you can tell that the circle moves.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that makes sense.
like the
I'm
letter
going
R,
to write Jake's name inside the circle.
Jake Tilldor was here. Narrheit bad, Durendale good.
tree pretty, fire burn.
Burt, you do not find any traps on the door at all.
All right, seems clear. I'll go ahead and just pull it open then.
Okay. Let me look up something here. So the doors open into a 10-foot long entryway that opens out into a larger rectangular room. And so maybe it's time to throw a new map on here. As much as that means the tokens go away. So these squares on this map, I threw a bigger map up here. These are 5 feet, just because it's easier with the way the tokens scale to make it 5 feet. And so here's the hallway that you're coming into. And I will draw the room that you can see beyond it, and then somebody else will take over the drawing duties.
Not it.
Not it.
No.
I'll do it.
Make sure I give you the right size here. Okay. It's a rather large room.
Well,
Now, let me describe for you what you see in this room. What you see is there are there are 4 statues in this room, one in each of the corners. And in the middle of the room is a circle drawn on the ground, and inside the circle is the symbol of Narrheit. So, the symbol of Narrheit is like 2 infinity symbols, one turned 90 degrees and placed on top of the other one. It's almost like 4 overlapping circles, right? That is what is inscribed inside the larger circle in the middle of the room. There are 4 statues in the room, one in each corner. They look to be, they're very large. They're about 10 feet tall, but they look like dwarves. So they're not dwarven size, but their proportions are dwarf proportions of the statues, okay? They are armored, and they each have a different weapon in their hand. And along the eastern wall is a set of 3 or 4 shelves that run. It's about a 20-foot long set of shelves that are right up against the eastern wall, almost right in the middle of the room. And on those shelves, it looks like there are small containers like urns and pottery jars and whatnot, but most of them have been broken or degraded, and they've leaked their contents onto the ground. So in front of the set of 2 or 3 shelves is a big pile of ash. There is a set of doors in the northern wall, and there's a set of doors in the western wall.
Are they like double doors?
They are double doors in both cases. And they are made of wood.
You said the eastern wall? Sorry.
Yes, no, the eastern wall has the shelves on it. The western wall has the set of double doors, basically in the middle of the wall. And then the northern wall has a set of doors. The eastern wall has the 3 or 4 shelves that are about 20 feet long. And the middle of the floor has a big circle, and then inscribed inside the circle is the symbol of Narrheit.
Don't step in that.
Like depression into the ground, or is it just like a carved circle, or carved, or is it just
the circle itself? It looks like it's written on top of the stone of the ground, but the actual symbol of Narrheit has been chiseled into, right?
Okay.
So Rekmit can tell right away if he just steps 3 feet more forward. He can get close enough to tell right away that symbol of Narrheit was not originally in this floor.
Yeah, I figured that. Haven't heard too many stories of orbs of dwarves worshiping Narrheit, but
I don't know.
Is there dust on the floor?
I mean, there are ashes and dust all over the floor. There's a layer of it.
Okay. Is there any of that ash covering part of the circle?
No.
Do we want to go back through the mist and see if it leads us somewhere else, or do we want to go through here?
Let's inspect all these statues and make sure to check everything out first.
Yeah. We got doors here. Might as well take
there's
them.
always...
Yeah.
There's going to be some kind of trap, so I think Burt needs to go first.
Burt, circle. By Durendale's Falling Grace.
Definitely go.
Burt, this is your time to shine.
For sure.
Recommend go check the one on the lower left. Or southwest wall corner.
Checking the statue. What are you checking it for? What's your goal here?
I think you're muted.
I am?
No, Rekmit here.
Okay.
It really helps if I unmute myself, doesn't it? Now I gotta remember what I was saying. I was gonna check like the style of the clothing or armor, see if it matched the dwarves outside. See if it's on like a base or anything. Check the armor to look if there's any potential little cubby holes in it, like that one I found in that one column.
The 4 statues are all wearing traditional dwarven armor from before the Winter Dark. So basically what you would consider ancient, even for dwarves. But it is made to... I mean, it's a statue, so that it's made of stone, so they're not really... The statue itself is not wearing the armor, but the statue is built to look like a dwarf wearing armor, and the style of the armor is ancient. And the weapon... Each of the dwarves is holding a different weapon. The one that Rekmit is looking at is holding a warhammer. And one is holding an axe, and one is holding a sword, and one is actually holding a mace. All 4 of them also have shields.
Any markings on the shields?
No markings, which is odd. They're completely flat. When you know that the dwarven clans would have had some kind of symbology on there. So that's somewhat anomalous.
Do all of the dwarves, their features and faces look exactly the same, and do they look like the exact same height?
They're the same height. They have different different beard decorations, different beard styles. Some of them have it braided, some of them have it like in 2 kind of ponytail things. Some of them have a bunch of rings in it, but it's free-flowing. So all the beards are different, but they, you recognize that they are just the sort of different cultural ways that different clan holds would have their beards in their traditional, manner. But this garb that they're wearing seems like it's of a ceremonial nature, right? Like it's not what they would wear to the field of battle because it's kind of too pristine, right? But that's what makes the flat shield seem all the more weird to you, because the shield should have some sort of ceremonial symbolic element to it, but it does not.
Yeah, I was essentially trying to determine if they were just cloned statues or if they could be representations of either some kind of clan or some kind of specific dwarf.
Even the faces have slightly different facial expressions, so you're pretty sure they're meant to represent different people, if not, different individuals, if not different clans altogether.
So
they're all larger than dwarves?
They are all the statues themselves are about 8 feet tall, but the proportions are dwarf proportions.
Does it look like the shields are stone that is part of the statue, or do they look like they're detachable from the statue?
All of the elements of the statue that you've looked at are part of the stone. They all look like they're made from one slab.
Okay. All right. Then I would like to go check out the circle I won't go into the circle, but I want to take a look at that. See if I can determine about the time that it was carved.
What's everyone else doing?
Well, I checked out that
So-
statue, and I'll go over and check out this statue.
Okay.
And if
Zeno's gonna go ahead.
I said, if Burt kind of gives the all clear, or I see other people freely, I'll start checking the walls for secret doors.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to wander through the walls looking at them. So Leanise is kind of checking the walls.
Okay.
Oh, actually, you said there were shelves on the east, right?
The shelves are on the east wall. There's about 3 shelves. They're about 20 feet long, and there's about 10 or 12 inches in between each one. So it's a stack of 3 shelves attached to the wall. But a lot of the urns and containers and whatnot have degraded or broken, and so they're leaking their contents onto the floor.
Okay, but Leanise will go and check the shelves
Okay.
and look more closely at them.
So Zeno's gonna take his hammer and piton and try to break the weapon off of this statue in the southeast corner. I'm gonna try to break the hand right at the wrist.
Okay, so you're not trying to break the weapon off, you're trying to break the whole wrist off?
Does Rekmit notice them trying to do this?
Oh, you're looking at the circle.
I mean, are they trying to hide it?
Well, I think if he's using almost like a chisel, it depends on how hard he's hitting it. It's going to echo in this room.
Yeah.
He's gonna notice when I hit it, but it's gonna be too late then.
It's 8 foot tall. Might be a big chunk of stone there.
Zeno, go ahead and give me a strength check.
Let's see. Strength is 13, and it's not prime.
Okay. So you hit this thing, and you hit it square on.
No, that. I'm sorry. I was saying what my stat was. I rolled a 12.
Sorry, I thought you rolled. So that's still a 13, right?
Yeah, still a 13 total.
Okay.
Not prime though.
Okay. So you hit the python square on, and the sound rings out. So now Rekmit knows. But when you hit it, you hear it crack. You hear the statue crack. But it doesn't break all the way, and you can't see where it cracked. Like it didn't form a crack on the surface that you could see, and so therefore you could put pressure on that part. But you know that you did something to it, but it did not break off all the way.
Rekmit's gonna whip his head around and go, Zeno, what are you doing?
Disarming the statue in case it comes to life.
Don't deface symbols of my ancestors. They're not
You're related to 8 foot tall dwarves?
potentially. It just look like symbolic representations. I don't think it's part of Narrheit.
Narrheit is a tricky god. If these statues come to life, you'll be thanking me this one doesn't have a weapon. I'm going to strike the python again.
I'm going to rush over and try and stop him.
Which one of you has a higher dex?
I mean, he's got 25 feet to travel. I think I can swing a hammer in 25 feet.
Roll me another strength check.
Yeah, my dex is only 9. I'm nowhere near as quick. That was a dump stat for me.
That one is a 15.
Again, you hit the thing square on the python, and it reverberates back, and now you see the crack forming right on the wrist. And you feel like one more hit's going to do it.
Please, Zeno, do not deface this. That could trigger an issue. We don't know what this room is.
My friend, we know that it's evil.
No, we don't!
Do you see the symbol of Narrheit?
No, this was built by dwarves, and then the people from Narrheit came in afterwards, is my guess, that don't know if these dwarves have anything to do with it. And if they do, you could be triggering the trap. There's no reason to do anything to this at this time. There's nothing to indicate, there's no symbology on these statues to indicate they're part of Narrheit. They're not twisted, there's nothing about them. It's my heritage.
I will pause for now.
I'll check the statue to see if it's like going to be okay. I have mending.
The statue has a large crack that's pretty deep in the wrist where the weapon is being held.
And mending. I'm going to see like if there's a way I can bind it with something to make sure it doesn't fall off. Take my bandages out and put them on it.
Alright, so we've got west or north? What are we feeling?
Whichever one you feel is safe. I will listen to your
I meant-
wise counsel this time, my friend, but next time I counsel you, you must pay the favor back and listen to me.
I already did that with those flying things outside.
No, you could have touched the flying things. I just wasn't going to be there. I didn't care if you threw anything at them.
We were just gone.
That doesn't count.
I lost my owlbear. Sorry.
Burt.
Give me 2 seconds to get it back.
Burt, which way is safe, Burt?
Well, Bert's checking the west door for traps, and he rolled a nat 1, so the west is really safe, guys. Promise.
Okay, open the door then.
And yeah, I'll go ahead and try to open up the door.
I head that way.
Did Leanise find anything at the shelves of interest, or is it just like stuff that had rotted?
You found... Hold on 1 second. I gotta get this back going. I don't know why it drives me crazy, this thing. There we go. Okay, so Leanise finds a ton of ashes and several small containers that are basically in pieces or broken. And so my question is Leanise going to rifle through the ashes, or, you know, like, so you're going through and looking for things, but what are you actually looking for? What's your...
Oh, just see if there's anything of interest there. But so there's piles of ashes, so Leanise will take an arrow and just prod through the piles of ashes, see if there's anything underneath.
Okay. You do feel, as you're moving it through, you feel like you hit something that made sort of a metallic sound, like maybe it's a piece of metal that you hit, like a piece of jewelry or something.
All right, I'll use the arrow to scrape like the ashes away.
Okay.
And blow on it a little.
As you pull it out, you see a bracelet made of iron, and it has some very small spikes facing inward, and it has the symbol of Narrheit etched onto the outside of it.
All right, I'll just throw it to the ground towards the middle and say, "Look what I found." Guess this is not dwarven. Do I find anything else?
You find lots of small, dried, preserved pieces of what probably were humanoids. It's pretty clear to you after just looking at this for a few minutes that these were probably some sort of funerary containers where if they did a mummification or an embalming, they might take some of the organs out and preserve them in a certain way. and that is
Gotcha.
that's what that is.
She turns away in disgust.
Do these urns happen to look anything like the ones we found in the, I guess, down below the shrine to Narrheit that we found?
And they look nothing like it. Those urns that you found down below the shrine were very large and had lots more ash in them. These are very small containers.
Okay.
There's probably not a container on these shelves that was larger than a cup like this, right? Like a standard modern coffee cup size is,
Any
some
symbols
of
on
them are different shapes. Some of them are taller and more narrow, and some of them are wider and flatter and whatnot. They're not all exactly uniform, but none of them hold very much.
Do they have any markings or symbols upon them?
Almost all of them have some kind of. Most of them are made of pottery, and they have something pressed, some kind of symbol pressed into them. Yes.
We desecrated the last shrine. Should we try and do something to this one?
I think that's what the monk was doing.
Yeah, I think it's pretty desecrated there already.
He was trying to desecrate a dwarven statue.
Yeah, the dwarven statue
of Narrheit, which is what he should have been desecrating.
Yeah.
Desecrating.
That bracelet you threw out there. If anybody can check and see if it's magic, we may want to, because that may not be something you want to leave behind you if it is.
Well, if we find out if it's magical, are we going to wear it?
I wouldn't think so from the looks of it.
Who's going to sleep first?
I mean, I would think it would be the kind of magical that we wouldn't want to deal with, but also we wouldn't want to let someone come along and pick up and, if it had any ability to be used against us, be used against us.
I actually can agree with you on that, Burnie. If it turns out it is magical, we can try and find some. Start speaking Dwarven. Sorry.
It's all right.
Find some way to destroy it.
I only speak it when I'm really drunk, so.
Well, okay, so Leanise kind of looks at you and is like, okay, and she'll cast Detect Magic and kind of gaze around.
Wait, we can do this later. We can just take it and you can save the spell.
I don't want to pick it up.
My concern, just like with my runes, is we'll probably have a limited amount that we can. So we might want to. We'll take. I'll carry it, so you don't have to deal with it. And we can deal with it later.
All right. Yeah, if you carry it, you can have it.
Yeah, I'll throw it in my backpack.
As you pick it up, Rekmit, the spikes that are facing inward sort of swivel around and pivot so that they're facing outward.
Oh, I definitely don't like this.
Well, I think we should save. We save the need for the spell.
Yeah.
Okay. As I see that, I drop it.
Okay.
I'll
The spikes swivel back in toward the middle as it's falling. As soon as you let it go.
Well, Burnie will go over and pick it up and see what happens.
It's a weapon of some kind.
And as I see Burnie, I say, okay, but I'm just going to use my rapier and put it in a sack or something and see if it'll be okay then. But you go ahead. You do you.
Burnie picks it up and nothing happens.
It likes you.
Burnie, hand it to me. Let's see what happens.
I'll hand it gently over to him.
As soon as Rekmit touches it, the spikes turn to the outside.
Ah!
It seems like a weapon.
It must have good taste.
Okay, I've got a small bag in my backpack. I'll dig that out.
Yeah, let's have you carry it.
And put it in one of those bags and roll it up and put it in my backpack.
Okay.
It's a dwarf detector.
Could be.
I'm not risking that it wants my blood.
So did Burt open the door to the west?
Yeah, I was going to go ahead and try and open this door to the west here.
Leanise will move over now. She's disgusted with the shelves.
Jake, can I borrow your crowbar?
Do I have a crowbar?
I think you did. Thought I borrowed it from you before.
The
If he doesn't, I think I do.
Bert's opening the door to the west. Is that what you said?
To the west, yeah.
Okay.
I tried checking it for traps and I got a 1, so pretty confident it's not trap.
Yeah, it's not. Of course not. Are you kidding?
Of course not, yeah.
So the door opens into a 10-foot by 10-foot hallway leading to the west, and there is a set of doors on the other end of the hallway.
See?
Do you want to do it this way, or do you want to check the north?
Yeah, might as well. Then we'll know what's there.
While they're doing that, I'm stealing somebody's crowbar, and I'm going to start trying to deface this symbol of Narrheit.
If you ask for Leanise, tosses you her crowbar.
Oh, thank you very much. And I start just scraping and whacking at it.
Okay.
Can't stand this in my dwarven area.
Roll me a strength check.
Oh, this will be funny. Roll a 20.
Good.
I'm wasting on a strength check.
I know. To deface something.
You take a large chunk out of the symbol in the floor, and as soon as you do that, the circle around it disappears.
Victory is mine again. Twice in one day. Okay.
So would Leanise or myself recognize that as an illusion, or?
Not really an illusion, more like
Like a glyph or a ward?
say that again?
Like a glyph or a ward or something like that?
More like a ward, but just it's only intact if the symbol inside of it is intact, and so now whatever it was doing has been broken. So some of the power dissipated, so the circle outside of it disappeared, but you don't actually know what it was doing in the first place, so it's hard to say what it means that the circle disappeared. Probably it was a ward, but who knows how ancient it is or how recent it is, and whether it actually has any effect.
It's all right. We don't have any magic weapons, so when the demon shows up, we'll just
Oh, summoning circle. Oh, boy.
die gracefully.
Well,
Oh, quickly, not gracefully.
Cinematically, baby.
Alright, so Burt will go ahead and open up these northern doors. I got a 5 to check for traps again, so again, confident they're not.
Those
Trust
are
in my
locked.
guy. I'm up there close, ready to help him.
I'll go ahead and try to open them.
Okay, go ahead and make me a lockpick roll.
Ooh.
Doors.
Oh, actually, that's 18? 18 altogether?
You are really confident that if this was a regular lock, you would have opened it very easily. But so there must be something about this lock that does not allow it to open.
Call Leanise or Jake and let him know that I think there's something magical about this
For
lock.
Burt. Burt, you rolled 16.
Yep.
And you only have a +2?
Yep, I got 1 for my level and 1 for my dex modifier.
And that's not prime?
Yeah, it's prime.
Yeah, this is not just a normal lock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, that would make it like a 24. So that might make a difference rather than an 18.
unless I ruined it by breaking the...
Yeah, it could be wizard locked or...
No, that's why I said if this was a regular lock, he would have picked it no problem, and he can
okay.
he can tell that. That was kind of the point of my narration, was that
Oh, okay.
it's obvious
Sorry, I
to
just
him.
making sure he got all these bonuses in there.
Yeah, no. But that was the thing, is that he knows automatically. He's like, wow, I know with my expertise that this would have worked, but there's something not right about it.
Mm-hmm. It'll be magically
Okay.
locked.
We want to kick it in, hack through it, or just go the other direction.
I think maybe go the other direction for now. We might find something that unlocks later on.
Okay.
I'm not confident in my ability to rend this apart.
So we're going to the west now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jake's going to just stay by the corner there.
I'll go ahead and check this set of doors for traps.
Sorry, I wasn't. So who all walked into that room?
Oh, Burt did for sure.
Looks like Burt and Leanise did so far. I'm right at the door.
Why don't Burt give me a let me see here. Burt, why don't you give me a give me an intelligence check. I got too many.
Ooh, that's a nat 20.
As the two you're so lucky. As the two of you are walking into that room, you take a step and the hair on the back of your neck raises up, and you instinctively know there's something there, and you block Leanise from walking any further, and you step back, and you look on the ground, and there is the definite outline of a pit trap taking up almost this entire hallway.
Ooh.
Alright, I got your back, Leanise. No worries.
Gee, thanks. Wow. That was close.
So that pit trap takes up, so there's like a foot on each side of that pit trap. So it takes up almost the entire space.
Okay.
Clearly not in there.
Yeah, do we want to try and trigger it with something and then work our way around?
Yeah.
Or just try to work our way around in case whatever's beneath it is worse than just a hole.
Oh, I do have a 10-foot pole. Let's see if we could trigger it.
Yeah, I feel like if there's spikes or something underneath it, I'd rather see them when I'm falling as opposed to falling blindly.
Okay.
I want to look death right in the eye as I'm.
Yeah.
As this happens.
But yeah, it may be like covering a Hydra, and with the door closed, the Hydra doesn't do anything, but when you open it, it eats you. So.
I'm sorry, did you say what kind of cover there is on the pit trap or anything like that?
It looks like
Is
stone
it a cloth
floor.
or?
Yeah, it's stone floor.
Yeah, cloth.
That was the thing, is that as Burt was kind of shifting his balance, shifting his weight onto the front of his foot, his ability to sort of detect whatever happened, he rolled really high, right? This was a hard roll, and he rolled a 20, and his foot just noticed an ever so slight, depression that as he pushed down, like the floor, just a millimeter movement, and he was like, whoa, that's not right. And stepped back, and then when he looked, he saw the outline in the stone.
Can Rekmit determine if it's like created by dwarven hands or different than what's the construction here?
You probably could if you go look at it.
If Burt lets me know, I'll go take a look at it.
Oh yeah, I'll let everyone know that there's a pit trap in this room, about a foot on either side. Relate the information.
On my hands and knees and kind of sneak up to it, being very careful.
The stone on the floor does look like the same dwarven-made stone that you see all over this place. But the pit trap itself, it's like they took the stone up and they made a pit trap there, and they used the same stone to cover it back up.
So it looks like it wasn't dwarven made, it was just they used the same stone and carved it out crudely.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, well, guys, I don't think the dwarves created this, so this is probably something Narrheit related.
Alright. So it's 20 foot. Those shelves across the other room, what are they made of? Are they wooden shelves?
And smack it in the middle of the thing.
Wait, say that again. What'd you take?
I'll take my rapier and just like reach out a couple feet and smack it onto the trap.
Okay.
And whatever Leanise was doing.
Yeah, the top part of the trap pivots down and opens up. And you can see it's a 20-foot trap down there. 20 feet to the ground. It does not look like there are any spikes down there, Burt.
If there's any snakes.
No.
You might need to get Jake to check to see if there's any snakes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Hey, Jake, I need you to come and check for snakes. This is your specialty.
What was Leanise doing? Looking at the shelves?
Yeah, so Leanise was like, what are the shelves made of? Are they wooden shelves?
They're thin slate.
Can we remove them from the wall?
Yeah, sure.
And as you said, there's like 3 of them?
Mm-hmm. They're 20 feet long. They're about 8 inches wide.
Oh, that's kind of narrow.
And there's about, 10 or 12 inches between each of the 3 of them. So the first one is about 10 or 12 inches off the ground. It's 20 foot long, and it's about 6 or 8 inches wide. And then 10 inches above that, there's a second one, 20 feet long. And then about 12 inches above that, there's a third one, 20 feet long.
Okay. So they're fairly narrow. I just wonder if we could use them as a bridge, but they're probably too thin and they're too narrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
The slate's pretty brittle at this point.
Yeah. Okay, all right. All right.
Just try shimmying across. There's 1 foot on either side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a foot on either side. Burt can easily get across, and anybody going slow enough, I mean, Zeno can easily get across. He could probably jump across with no problem, but going slow enough, any of you could make it across. The danger is if you need to retreat quickly, or if somebody needs to do it quickly rather than take your time. Taking your time, no problem.
So we don't know if those doors are trapped or locked yet, so...
Right.
Yeah, I say I'll go ahead first and give it a check.
Here's a
Hey,
rope.
maybe we put a rope on him? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll take a rope again, yeah. Just be on the safe side again.
Okay.
Jake starts figuring out geometry.
Yeah, I'm still going to the rope, make sure I don't smack.
It's 20 feet across and 20 feet down.
It's only 10 feet across.
Yeah, it's 10 feet. These squares are 5 feet, because it's just easier to do it like that with the tokens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that way it'll hit the wall,
Yeah.
but it'll still be okay.
All right, I got 11 to check for traps.
Okay. You don't find anything.
And then, are they locked?
They are not.
Do we want to have does anyone else have a bow or anything? I think Leanise does.
Leanise does. Leanise is ready with her bow, if you're going to open the doors.
Yeah, I'll call back. Sure, everyone's ready, and I'll go ahead and open it up.
Okay. You see a room that is 20 feet by 30 feet, rectangular. The side that the doors are on is the long edge of that rectangle, and the doors are in the middle. So the room extends up to the north by 10 feet and down to the south by 10 feet, and out in front of you by 30 feet. And in the middle of... Go ahead.
You said these are 10-foot squares?
These are 5-foot squares.
5-foot squares.
Yeah.
Like so?
about right.
I think so.
Yeah, that looks about right. So, in the middle of this room is a large stone table. The walls themselves have an old carvings on them, like old bas reliefs. I don't know if you pronounce the S, bas reliefs on there. You know, the carved kind of stone facade on the walls of this room, and it looks like it's very degraded, but some pieces of it are pretty intact. On the stone table is a couple of looks like tools, and there's some stains on top of the table, pretty dark stains. In the northeastern corner of the room is a 5-foot by 10-foot cage that has the bars of the cage go from the floor to the ceiling.
Are there any doorways I can see? Any?
Nope.
All right. Well, I'll call back. Let everyone know it looks all clear. Looks like some kind of sacrificial area. If we want to go check it out, and I'll go ahead and step in the room.
Okay. Anybody else going in?
You said the cage was in the northwest?
It's in the northeast. It's 5 foot by 10 foot, and the long side is against the northern wall.
Are there any exits in there, Burt?
Didn't look like there are any. No.
Right. Leanise will walk across slowly and end up this way. Bow is at the ready. Does she see anything in the cage? Now she's a little closer.
There is a form in the cage that looks to be about humanoid size, rolled up in a blanket.
Before Rekmit heads in, he's going to go back and take our rope that we had and tie it around the statue in the southwest corner.
Okay.
Just we realized we probably all untied ourselves. The rope would be sitting.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just a quick thing. It's about 9 o'clock where I am right now. So we're at a good place to take a short break. So let's take a 5 or 6 minute break. I'm going to make some more tea. I've had lots of tea to kill my PCs. I mean, I need some tea to keep a good mood so that I don't kill my PC. Never mind. We'll take a break. We'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. Stick around. Remember, a little bit, just briefly, shortly later, we're going to be giving away a free PDF of your choice from the Troll Lord Games website. So stick around. We will be right back.
Kill Rekmit, you're going to have to
All right, and we should be back. Yes, here we are. Hello, everyone, again, and welcome to back to the Pools of Narrheit. And right now, currently, what is happening? We are in a new room, and Leanise has seen that there is something wrapped in a blanket or something, sheets or something, in the cage. There is a stone table with what looks like some tools on it, and there is a set of sculptured bas reliefs, however you pronounce that, on the walls. And they had previously found a pit trap and nobody died, much to Chuck's disappointment.
Sorry, Chuck.
Next time, Chuck. We'll do it.
I tried to get Jake to go first.
Mm-hmm. And so, what are you doing now?
Well, Leanise will go and prod at the package in the cage with her 10-foot pole.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's not moving at this point.
Not yet. When you poke at it, it moves a little bit. And you hear what sounds like bells chiming in a sort of a sort of deep tone, but then nothing else happens.
So when you say it moved because I poked it, or it moved in some different way?
It moved because you poked it.
Okay. All right.
And is it that sound loud enough only for Leanise to hear, or do the rest of us hear it?
Nope, everyone hears it.
What did you do?
I just poked this body thing in here. I just poked it a little.
We'll poke it again.
I always want to poke stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, nope, that's me. Good job. Rekmit wants to check out the tools or implements on the table.
Okay. What you see is a pair of what looks like handheld, like, hedge clippers. So diagonally cut blades that fit together, but they're at a slight angle. And what amounts to a hammer. Sort of meat tenderizing hammer.
Are there any residue on them?
Yeah, there's a dark stains on the table and sort of half-dried pools of a dark liquid, and then there are dark stains on the weapons as well.
I'm sure I can find a use for hedge clippers, so I'm going to take those and the hammer and shove them in my pack. No reason to leave good stuff behind.
Burt will go ahead and check out the reliefs on the wall, see if he can figure out what they're of or what they're depicting.
Okay. They look to be images of dwarves talking to each other and discussing something that's obviously very important, as in, in like a council chamber kind of depiction. And then in the next scene or two, it shows them having hammering and chiseling plates of brass and writing on enormous scrolls of very thin brass.
So if I had
Does
the
trigger anything in Rekmit about the language of creation at all?
Say that again, sorry.
Does that trigger anything, once I get a chance to look at it, anything about the language of creation? Any history with the dwarves that have been writing on there?
Yeah, so, the language of creation, when there are certain very powerful words, you can't just write them on any old material because the material can't hold them and it either degrades extremely fast or it disintegrates. But they found that they could write certain things on sheets of brass and enormous pieces of specially treated metal, and then they could store those in a safe manner so that they are preserved for posterity. But it's very difficult to carve words of creation onto objects and have it be everlasting. Rekmit notices also that these reliefs are not a complete story. It's more like different moments in time where things happened. It's not like first this happened and then right after that this happened and then right after that this happened and then right after that this happened. It's more like this was one point in time and then at some point in the future this other thing happened and then at some point. But all of the depictions are showing presumably important moments in whatever clan used to maintain this structure.
Basically important points in time, but not necessarily any specific historical time frame.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
I go and take a look at the cage. I'm assuming, does it look like it was dwarven made, or maybe if Rekmit could tell me, or does it look like it was added afterwards?
It was pretty obviously added afterwards, and you know that because there are drag marks across the floor where it was dragged in. And
Yeah,
you know that the dwarves would not have drug it across their really high-quality floor.
Rekmit is just like entranced by looking at the bas relief, so unless someone says anything specifically to him, he's just staring like.
There's a cage locked.
No one has tried the door.
Alright, I'll prod at the blanket again.
The whatever is it rolled up in it sort of moves again a little bit more strenuously this time, and you hear again the sound of like bells or chimes, but very deep.
From within the package.
Right.
Oh, yeah, okay. The wood. Oh. Oh, and there's nothing else in the cage?
It does not appear so.
Alright. Okay. Leanise turns to Burt. I think this is trapped, but...
Oh, might also be my chip. That's what I'm here for. Ooh, I got a 19 total to check for traps.
You do not find any traps on the cage.
So I'll go ahead and try and open it. Is it locked?
It is not locked. Well, I take that back. It is locked, but the lock is very old, and you can very easily open it. You don't even need to make a roll.
Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and open it up then.
As the cage door opens, it makes a loud screeching.
Well, if anything didn't know we were here yet, pretty sure it doesn't.
Hey, they've got to get over the pit trap.
Exactly.
Come through the walls.
You gotta get through me first, too.
So when you discover there's a whole secret door just...
All right, I'll go ahead and go in the cage and kind of unwrap the blanket and see what was under it.
Okay. As you start to unwrap it, whatever is wrapped in it sort of tries to hold the blanket closed so that you can't open it.
Oh.
I'll back out of the cage and let kind of Leanise everyone know that, I think there's something alive in there. Someone a little stronger, maybe Jake, want to go check it out?
You want Jake to check it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the way over here.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't come free yet.
Yeah, we want Jake to check it out.
We definitely want to take a check. I'll call out and say, hey, Jake, you want to come through?
Jake, extra carefully, goes around the room, comes over, and he's like, what about it? What is this?
Whatever's in the blanket is seems to be trying to. Something's holding it fast. And it's on a little stronger. You're trying to pry it open.
And you called me for what?
Your great strength. And definitely not your gullibility, of course.
I point out to, they are fighters. I just hold up all this heavy armor through the strength of Durendale. My strength is more spiritual than physical.
But you would be gentle.
At this point, you all hear another set of sort of chimey sounding, like bells almost, very deep tone.
Now, those of us still in the other room, do we hear them?
You're all the way in the big room. You do not hear them.
Okay.
Is there a direction that it's coming from? Because I presume it's not from the bound character or bound thing.
It does sound like it's coming from the cage.
So, Rekmit, why don't you get rid of that blanket? Can't you do that?
Rekmit's over in the corner looking at the bas relief, so you'd have to come and actually really physically.
He's entranced by the dwarven carvings on the wall.
When you say that, I don't even move.
So Leanise will bend down and see if she can just drag the whole blanket out as a package.
You grab onto it, and as you pull it, whatever's in it is obviously struggling to not be pulled, and it's trying to like plant itself so that you can't pull it out.
During all this struggling, Burnie will carefully make his way in. What's the problem?
Something in the blanket.
I'm going to take out my whistle and just toot on it a little bit. Not loud, just to make a little whistling noise. Do I get a response from the blanket?
Yeah, you hear some bells.
Is it a very fast ringing of bells, or?
No, it's very low tone. It's very deep voice, kind of tone, and it just sort of rings a couple of times.
Has it been a constant set of chimes, or are they different each time?
It's a little bit different each time.
Like, I was trying to determine if it was getting aggravated or,
It's hard to tell, but it is becoming clear that it sounds like some sort of language.
Right.
Give me a try.
I mean, you can pull him out. It's just that, or it, you don't really know if it's a him or not, but as you started to pull it out, it started struggling and trying to plant itself, so I'm assuming that Leanise stopped.
Yeah.
But it wasn't actually stopping you from it. Like, it's not strong enough to stop. You could continue to pull it if you want to.
Oh, okay. So, I stopped momentarily. Because I just want to turn around. It's like, he clearly doesn't want to come out.
Yeah.
I'll
Speak, Bell.
talk to it and say, we're not going to harm you.
No response.
So, I'm going to get Rekmit. And, on my way over there, I'm going to pull out my blanket as well. And I'm like, we need you over here. Over here.
Do you just say it verbally to me?
Yeah.
Okay. No response. He just sits there like,
Hate to do this to you, buddy, but I kind of like just ram him into the wall a bit. You know. Yeah. Hey,
Jake, what was that for?
we have work to do. Come on.
I was doing work.
That's playing. Come on. We do real work.
Well,
Durendale
your real work. Durendale. My real work is something different.
Over here. What's in this blanket? Dwarven chest.
Blanket.
Go to sleep.
There's a blanket?
Yeah.
In your hand, I see something. But
Yeah.
okay. Oh, what? Oh.
Over there with Leanise. Come on.
And this will be like the first time Rekmit even notices that there was something in a cage or everything in the cage.
You're not focusing. Come on. Over with Leanise. Come on.
With like a physical effort to take him away from the bas reliefs. He'll follow Jake reticently.
Yep, let's go into battle mode. Grab hold of the back of my belt. Come on.
You know, as he just in a battle mode, I do get back up behind him. Oh, come on.
Do the locomotion over there.
All right, so what do you want me to do?
So, here's what we're going to do. Can you magically get rid of that blanket? Or what is it?
Pretty sure magic isn't my department.
That thing that
if the blanket's a problem, and Burnie will just step forward and grab the blanket between Leanise and whatever's in it, and just pick straight up with my arms and go up with it and let whatever it is roll out.
I'll talk to Jake. I mean, you want me to like try and destroy a blanket?
You could do that. You used to be able to.
Well, I could, but it just seems. What's the Durendale word for overkill?
Durendale.
Durendale.
Come on.
I mean, even by Logan's mighty axe, I think that's a little more than is needed.
So as Jake is trying to prod Rekmit over to the cage to do something, Burnie picks up the blanket and basically forces the thing that's in it out. And this is what you see. So let me load this here so I can show the audience as well. This is what you see. I will also place this in the Discord so that you can see it. This one is, it has dark green skin and it looks like it's been beat up and basically tortured. It's pretty obvious that you could see that it's been, one of its ears has been clipped off and it has pummeling marks from, big bruises and abrasions and whatnot. Its wings are folded behind it, and they are tied together at the shoulder blade in a way that pulls them so that they are not usable. This thing is about 3.5 feet tall. And as Burnie picks it up and shakes it out of the blanket, it sort of rolls and stands up, and it's kind of shocked. And it opens its mouth, and this sort of chimey, deep bell sound comes out. And it's moving its mouth like it's speaking to you, but all you hear is different chimes and bells, and they're very deep. And so I need everyone to, everyone except Leanise, to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Does Zeno need to make that too, since he's in the other room?
No, you're in the other room. You do not need to make that.
I got a 19 and it's prime.
Okay.
I got an 18.
Jake got a 5 prime. Just thought I'd throw in the prime part.
What did you get?
Maybe no.
So what did everybody get? Sorry, Rekmit?
14 for Rekmit.
Prime or no?
No.
Okay. Zeno didn't make the... Leanise didn't make it. Burt, you got a 19?
Yeah, 19 and it's prime.
Okay. Burnie, what'd you get?
I got an 18.
Okay.
And it's not prime.
Okay. And Jake?
5.
Jake and Rekmit are still arguing, so they're sort of almost not paying attention, and it takes them by surprise, and they don't really have a chance to settle themselves against the onslaught of beautiful, melodious lullaby music, and both of them immediately go quiet and sink down to the floor, sleeping like babies.
Well, everyone but Rekmit and Leanise really is kind of a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, sleeps like one for sure.
The creature that is standing in front of you, it kind of steps back, and it sort of tries to put itself in the corner as far away as possible from you.
I'm just going to hold my hands up away from my weapons and look at it and say, "Hey, little fella, I don't think you're a bad guy, so we don't mean you any harm. Can't really understand what you're saying, but, be happy to untie your wings and let you get out of here." And I'll move away from the door so he can get out the door if he wants to.
What language are you speaking? Just common?
Common.
Okay.
That's the only one I got.
All right. The creature doesn't really respond to you.
Okay. I didn't figure you would, but at least, trying to let him know, hey, I'm not threatening you.
It's worth a try.
Yeah.
So Leanise will step back and take a backpack off and dig into it for some rations to hand to it.
Okay.
And she'll run through, while she's doing this, she'll talk to it in different languages.
What languages are you running through?
So she's going to run through Enochian, Ethram, Sylvan, Draconic, Goblin, and she'll try Dwarf too.
You notice that when you speak Sylvan, it turns its head towards you as if it suddenly understands something that you have said.
Okay. Alright, so then if I notice that, then I'll carry on in Sylvan, and I'll be, say, digging through for some rations to feed it, so I can give to it.
Okay.
So we mean you no harm. We're exploring what happened to you.
It opens its mouth to speak. And again, most of what you hear is a set of bells and chimes and very deep tone. But you can make out about every third word. It's trying to speak to you in Sylvan, but it seems to be it's having a hard time. It's as if its vocal cords aren't really made for forming that sort of language, but it obviously understood you, and the idea that it tries to give you is it's not it's been taken from its home, right? It doesn't live here. This isn't where it belongs.
Alright, so assuming at some point I find some rations, I'll give it some. But then I'll also, I'm not going to harm you. I'm just going to release your wings.
Okay, it will turn and if you say that in Sylvan, it'll turn and let you do that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to release its wings and give it some food.
Is anybody going to wake up Rekmit and Jake?
Yeah, Burt will go over.
You're all just going to let them lay there?
That's fine.
Well, I figured why add to the confusion for it?
Why don't we go ahead and wake up Jake and then let Rekmit take a little bit longer of a nap?
Hey, if that gives me all my rune slots back, I'm good for it.
Can we get any spell back? Yeah, I was going to ask that. That would be good.
Yeah, it's not a real restful sleep, let's put it that way.
No, I got the bard here with Dwarf.
I'm busy sleeping.
So, Leanise, you take the wing, you take the trappings off the wings, and you could see it sort of tries to move its shoulders a little bit, and it's having a hard time. It's pretty beat up, and it's probably been in here for quite a while.
Do you want to try casting a healing spell on it, Jake? Do we have one?
I thought about it, yeah. We only have one
Right.
day.
He's
That's
asleep.
fair.
He's not thinking about anything right now.
He's like,
Hold on.
Oh, I
If
thought
Jake
I was awake.
spell, I will definitely wake up.
If I'm awake, I will cast a Cure Light Wounds on it.
Yeah, we'll wake you up.
No, you don't have to wake me up. As soon as I hear him actually casting a healing spell, I wake up. It's a miracle.
6 points of healing for the
Okay.
fairy. Whatever the creature is.
Okay. You see that it sort of visibly looks more healthy, but because you can see that change, you can see how far gone this thing really was. I mean, it was very, very close to death. Also, it's trying to say something, but it can't. Every time it tries to say something, it just sort of comes out in chimes and bells. And Leanise, you get a couple of words here and there, and it just keeps saying too big, too big.
I'll speak to it again in Soul and go, what's too big?
It points to itself.
Oh.
You should be smaller.
It nods. And it sort of moves its hands, and it makes its hands go down to about, 6 or 8 inches.
Yeah, okay, that makes much more sense. All right. So I'll ask him, who did this to you?
Basically, it again, it has a hard time communicating, but basically the thought that it's trying to get across to you is some people captured it and made it grow real big.
Is Leanise, are you indicating anything that you're saying back and forth?
Yeah. As this comes through, I'm kind of giving you translation.
I'll say, Leanise, show it the symbol of Narrheit and see if that's what did it to him. I'm guessing that's what it is, but see if it recognizes.
Yeah.
He's able to communicate on some level.
Yeah, so Leanise will kind of draw in the air the symbol of Narrheit.
Yeah, it backs up and goes back into the corner.
Okay.
And it's nodding.
Now you said the liquid on the table was kind of half semi-dried.
Yeah.
So, do the marks? Well, I guess they've been healed now, but did it look like the marks were relatively recent?
Some of them, sure.
Okay.
Leanise, ask this Fae if that's its blood, and when was the last time someone was here torturing him. It.
True. So I'll go and I'll point at the table and say, "Was that you? And when? How long have we been down here, by the way? We've basically just been down here for a short period of time, right?
Yeah, several hours.
Hours, yeah.
Altogether a while, but you've only been in this room for, maybe 20 minutes.
Oh, I know, but between we've worked through and...
Yeah, you traveled, you left town early in the morning, you traveled through, you went through the Oxwood, you went north, you went up to the Foretop Hills, you found all the moss, you found the fungus forest, you avoided the brown flying thing, you went into the big mushroom, and you went down and slid around, right?
Yeah.
And then you went under, and you explored that entire cave system, you found the underground river, and then you killed the centipede, and now you're still, so it's still the same day. It's been a long time though. It's
the same day. It is the same.
Same day, but several hours later.
Mm-hmm.
And Rekmit, to answer your question, same depth as it seemed like the cavern.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will. So I'll explain this. So if in case anybody missed from his closing the hand and pointing, it's like, okay, he's being enlarged and tortured by definitely Narrheit, or some followers of Narrheit. But he should be much smaller, like 6 inches.
Is there any way to find out when? I don't know how to do time, but how long?
Right.
That was. Oh, I did not ask that question. You're right. Sorry.
And was it dark in here before?
What do you mean dark? I mean,
No light source?
yeah, there's no light. I mean, his wings shine, but other than that, there's no light source.
Okay. So he would have no clue of time anyway.
Right. He has not been outside. He's been in captive, so.
And you said that all of the blood was it fully dried, or is it looking and it was still like syrupy?
Some of it is kind of syrupy and sticky, but it's definitely not like super fresh like this morning it happened, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work out. It's like we've been down here for a while. for a while.
4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm concerned about is when we went through that mist, it's almost like time was different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Necessarily different. And I don't perceive that we changed depth, but that doesn't mean we're still in the same place, because I can't tell.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know this is a dwarven structure, but it seems like this is a pre-after the Winterdark structure, but it was subverted by the whatever this cult of Narrheit that seems to exist here.
And this whole area was filled with... So it's obviously very old.
Yes.
Very, 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 very old.
At the very least, this post-mist is very ancient.
Mm-hmm. But
That's
the
why
people...
they have to destroy or work, deface those statues, because I don't think those have anything to do with Narrheit itself.
Mm-mm.
So the one question that Leanise will look at you and go, so were the dwarves that were frozen pre the green mist were the same period as this place?
Samuel was able to tell if there was a difference in time.
The clothing of the dwarves that were petrified, or that were, in the centipede's lair, were wearing clothing that was several centuries old, or the style was several centuries old. That's as close as you get.
And what I'll say is, okay, so Leanise, from what I can tell, I think the garb of those petrified dwarves was during the Winterdark. I don't know how far ago, but what it looks like in the statues is pre-Winter's Dark, so that's well over an eon ago.
Okay.
So those dwarves out there were during the big calamity that we had. So there are different time frames. That much I can tell.
We are different. Okay.
Hmm.
So the question is, all right. So
Leanise, do you have any kind of ability to dispel magical influences or whatever that would have enlarged this vague creature?
no, I don't have that, unfortunately.
I don't have the ability either.
I
At
could.
least
I do detect magic. It's just going to light up anyway. So.
Also, just as a logistical thing, as you're chatting through this, we're going to stop in about 10 minutes, and we'll do our debrief time where we talk about the game and what's going on. And at that point, sometime soon, we will be giving away the free PDF. So, but just so you know, so in about 10 minutes, we're going to round up this session. So, as you're having your discussion, be thinking of that in the back of your mind that you're going to be figuring out what to do going forward.
Well, I think my suggestion would be, let's go back over to the other room and take up positions to get a rest in. Because I think we only have to worry about things really from one direction. It's a locked door. We can spike it shut.
we have the locked door, but we don't know that it's locked from the other side, whatever that is.
That's why I said we can spike it.
Honestly, we might be better off in this.
This room is actually easier because
Okay, we can come in here.
Rekmit's going to check the walls to see if there's anything like looking for like secret doors or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I would suggest that we offer this creature that, where we can show them down towards the green fog if they want to take themselves out and try to get out, or they're welcome to come with us.
I was going to ask him if he knows anything, so I'll ask creatures. If he remembers how he was brought here. I'm assuming it's a he, just from the picture.
Yeah.
They're actually like genderless. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't have a
They
don't have a gender in the way that the other civilized races have genders. It was put in a bag. They trapped several of them in a bag and sealed it and carried them, and then they let them out, and they were already underground.
What happened to the others?
It sort of hangs its head and.
Okay.
Well, I'll explain to in Sylvan that we're planning to rest up here in this room. You're free to go if you want. We can show you a way out. I don't know if it takes you where you came from.
It nods. It wants to know the way out, for sure.
Okay. So I'll lead it across the passage. But as we get into the other room, I'll ask him, and I'll point to those doors and ask him if he knows anything about those doors.
And also find out if you can determine from whence it hails, where it came from.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. So I'll also ask him where do you come from?
It tells you it comes from the. I gotta look at my map. It tells you the DM has to look at his map. The CK, I guess, has to look at his map.
Excellent.
Look, I said DM for like 20 years. You're not going to break me ever.
I know.
I know. I have the same problem. I have exactly the same problem.
We did the same thing. Are we going to play D&D tonight? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
It says it hails from the Great Hollow Forest.
So Leanise looks around at everybody. Does anybody know the Hollow Forest?
Rekmit does.
Oh, that's good. So at least we know in the right area.
But
to-
what Rekmit also knows is that the Hollow Forest, the Hollow Woods, is not a great forest anymore. The Hollow Forest is relatively small now. So unless there's another forest called the Great Hollow Forest, then yeah. So is somebody going to lead it out, or what's the?
Yeah, I'll lead it out. I'll lead it to the green.
Okay.
And I'll explain how to, get through the green mist. It's okay. It's safe. And then take a passage to either of the two passages that go either east or south, and you'll find your way out.
Okay. It expresses gratitude in the best way that it can, without really understanding your customs or what you could possibly need. It knows it doesn't have anything that could give you. And then it turns and it starts to walk through the mist. And as it starts walking through the mist, you see it shrink.
Ah.
Great.
And
interesting.
it flies up and it flies back into you. And he says, in perfect Sylvan, but with a really high-pitched voice, he says, "You did it! What did you do? You have made me normal again. Now we can go get them. We can go get them all." And that's where we'll end. I'll assume you make your way back to where everyone else is. And
Does it come back with me?
it's coming back with you.
Oh, okay.
He tells you his name is Blip. Well, it's their name. It doesn't really have a gender, but he, whatever.
Yeah.
He is called it. He is called Blip. It is called Blip. Whatever. They refer to themselves as Blip. So whatever. And so you make it back to the room. How are you all barricading that room?
I guess the pit's open, and
We have the one set of doors. We just spike the door shut.
yeah,
Which did the doors open, by the way? Do they open in or out?
Out.
oh, they opened out.
They open out. Also, whoever did search for secret doors, you need to make rolls and let me know what you got.
What's that at? What's the roll on that?
It depends on if you have a skill or not.
Whatever the thing is.
If you
Leanise will look once we're in the room and kind of settled.
I think Lean has a better ability at it than I do, but I don't know. I don't remember what worse get.
So it's a wisdom roll.
I'm trying to think. Let's see. Would Rekmit get?
Fucking quick.
Because this is a dwarven structure. Where's my other piece of paper?
Holy crap.
Who all's looking, I guess, is the question.
So Leanise will at some point, once we've got back and we've sorted.
Yeah, I mean, if
through.
we're going to do a general search, I'll look as well.
Yeah, Burt's probably not very good at it, but he'll look.
Yeah. So generally, to
Looks like I gotta get a +4 on the wisdom check to find stuff if I'm actively looking for it, and only +2 otherwise because of the
okay.
homecraft ability.
Okay, yeah. So that applies to you because of the dwarven nature of this place. So everybody roll me a wisdom then, and let me know.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, excellent.
You sure there are walls here?
All these damn carvings have confused me.
I got a
This is a +4. Yeah, I rolled a 2, makes a difference.
What did Burt get?
16, but it's not prime.
Okay. Rekmit, what'd you get?
17, and it is a prime.
Did Zeno look?
Oh.
Okay. Jake, did you look?
I am looking, and I got a 22 prime.
Okay. There is a secret door, and it's behind the cage.
Ah.
Rekmit can tell that it's a dwarven constructed secret door. So it looks
And
like whoever drug that cage in here probably didn't know the secret door was there.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Burt, you notice that above the table there is a trap door
Ooh, all right.
in the ceiling. It's about 20 feet high in the ceiling.
Wow.
Okay, we might not want to stay in this room either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this one, though.
So we're going to want to block either one set of these doors, the south doors, somehow the locked doors, just to make sure they don't open to us, and then maybe rest.
Yeah, I'm not sure a secret door and a trap door are good. Well, secret door I'm less worried about, but the trap door, right?
Yeah, the secret door has a cage in front of it. That's not that big a deal, but the trap door, we don't really have any way of...
Right. Can't protect against that.
Right.
Spikes.
Yeah, you could spike it closed. You'd have to make a human pyramid to get somebody up there to spike it closed. But it is possible. It's not hidden. It's just that nobody ever looked up there until
That's
you
probably better
searched
than
it.
like put spikes on the table so they fall on it.
You could do that.
Just light a big fire directly underneath it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So we could make this so it's only one entrance, and there is a pit trap in front of it. So maybe that room is still the best room if we can manage to spike the door, the trap door.
Fair enough, and we'll set watches anyways, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's just don't want multiple points of entry if possible.
Did it look like the pit trap had did we ever find a mechanism to turn it back or spring it back?
We could look.
You could easily reset it because when you opened it, you just opened it with pressure. So
Yeah.
you
we wanna
basically
reset-
triggered it. You didn't. Yeah. So
Yeah, so we want to reset that before we go to sleep, too.
okay.
Because I want to see stuff fall.
Yeah.
My
Okay. So the last thing before we stop then is the order of watch. Who's watching when?
Burt will take first watch.
Okay.
Leanise does need to get some spells back, so it depends on how long we're resting for.
I can take first watch.
We got 1, 2, 3, 6 of us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we got multiple spellcasters that need to sleep, I guess I could take second watch and we could let you guys sleep, and then one or two of you guys could take third watch.
I just hate for you to get too tired, though. I mean, we can all take a little extra time. Another couple extra hours is fine. Either way, during my watch, or if I'm watching with someone, I'm going to start sketching out the bas reliefs in my book.
Okay.
Wait, you're watching? Really? We know how that thing...
Watch the bas reliefs and listening. I got my ears up.
Which you ignore everything you hear when you're looking at those things.
It's just before. Jake so graciously woke me up as
You're welcome.
yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Sure.
So let's talk about the game. First thing is, does anybody have any questions or concerns about the game itself, about the way I run the game, about the pace of the game, and all of that stuff? Like comments, questions, things you want to talk about, anything like that?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel like we did a little better job keeping it moving this time. We didn't dawdle quite.
Yeah.
I would turn that question back to you as the CK. Do you think we're being overly cautious, or do you think we're subverting the ability to move it forward fast enough? Because I think we feel okay with it, but what is your feeling on it?
Yeah. I mean, the pace is fine with me. I'm really actually I was spurred to kind of ask that question because in the TLG Discord this week there was a conversation about pacing and the rate of advancement more so than actual pacing during each individual session. And so, at the end of... So I probably didn't tell you what your session 4 XP was because you haven't gone back to town, right? Since you began this exploration in session 4, now it's session 5. And so you didn't get your session 4 experience yet, but the rate of advancement is very slow, right? In C&C, at least the way I run it, it's relatively slow because right now we're on session 5, and the total, I think the total that you've gotten is roughly 800, other than Burnie, who's only been here 2 sessions, but everyone else has only really gotten about 800 experience after 5 sessions, after 4 or 5 sessions. And so there was this whole conversation about that, and it got me thinking about, well, so, there's 2 ways to think about pacing when you're thinking about an RPG, right? There's the pacing in the session and what's happening in the session and within the sort of story arc that's being run. And then there's the pacing overall of what people are doing in the campaign and how do you have level ups occur and how frequent is that? And so I'm kind of asking about that too, about how you feel about that, because I want to make sure that not only is the per session or within session pace a decent pace, and also I want to make sure that the advancement pace, right, is a decent pace for you. I'm okay with slow advancement, but I'm the CK. I'm not a player, so that's not that doesn't really, my that doesn't count at this point, right? So what are your thoughts on that?
So I was thinking about that last time when you gave the XP out, because it was like 100 or something. It was relatively light. And then, but that really only matters as long as the encounters... It's one of those things, it's the balance of the encounters. Right? That used to playing, original and BX and stuff where, a single hit will kill you. A little better here, but we're still, anybody with 2 hits and they're probably dead.
Right.
It's that balance of how long do I have to hang around where 2 hits will kill me.
Right.
That's the problem. So as long as it's reasonably balanced, and again, there's always a chance of death. So that's not the issue. It's just, does that get pushed out too far? Because the XP seemed, well, I guess we haven't found that much, but we have found some spells and some scrolls. So it depends on how you're doing the XP. Right? There are different ways.
Yeah. So the way I do XP, just so that you know, is I keep track of every creature that's defeated, and that includes creatures that you didn't necessarily fight. So, for example, the brown flying things that you avoided last time, you got XP for that, right? Because you saw it, you assessed the danger, you decided not to engage with it. So I gave you the XP. If you happen to meet it when you come out and fight it, you don't get extra XP. You'll still get that same XP, right? So maybe I should have told you that part. But anyway, so you get XP for every defeated creature, right? Whether you fight it or kill it or whatever, right? Overcoming that challenge in some way that related to that creature gives you the full XP of those creatures, okay? You also get XP for GP, so any gold, gems, whatever, the value of those things is worth experience, okay? And so you get that. And then equipment that you find that you take back to town and sell, you get the experience point value of the gold value of that. Magical things that you find and keep, you don't get experience for, because the value of them is in the owning of them and using of them. So if you go sell them, if you find a way to offload them somehow, or you donate them, or you do something with them so that you're not using them, then you get XP for them because you get the XP that you would be losing by not using them, right? But if it's like, if you were to find a magic weapon, you don't get XP for the magic weapon. You just get the magic weapon and you're using it. If you end up turning around and selling it, you then get XP for that sale price. Okay.
Interesting.
And then I also give role playing experience. So one of the things that I sort of wrote in a note for myself was try to remember to tell you, because I've got notes here and I have your names on it, and when you do something fun I put a little check mark, and I sort of add those up, and when anybody hits I put every check mark is worth like 50 XP, right? And then when somebody hits like 300, then I give it to them, right? And I don't often mention it, right? I don't say, oh, you're getting 50 XP for that. I just make a little note to myself. Right. And then that's personal individual XP. Okay. Usually I award that when somebody levels up, so that it puts them that much further. So it puts them that much further toward the next level. It's kind of a weird, it's my own sort of weird thing.
Okay.
How have you felt about the way our role playing's been so far? You think we need to do more of it, or are we not? How has that been?
I mean, I'm loving it. I think you guys are great. I think, just like any group that sort of plays a game together for the first time, it takes a few sessions to sort of get in a role and get acclimated to each other and sort of learn how to, and, doing this online and having it, completely virtual and over video is also a little bit strange, right? Because everybody gets excited and you want to talk at the same time, and then we can't hear you. And, and so there's that thing. And so that's a double-edged sword, right? Because it means, oh, you're trying to do things, but then everybody's trying to do it once. But I'm completely happy with the role-playing aspects of this group. So.
I'm trying to be a little goofy and chaotic with it, but I'm not trying to overburden everyone else.
Yeah.
You guys have anything, just direct message me about some stuff, because it is tough with the video, trying to make sure you don't step on something else.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that XP, then I take that big parcel, not the individual XP, but all the X stuff, and then I split it per person, right? It's per PC. So for the first 3 sessions, there were 5 PCs, and so all of the XP. I also give story. So when you hit certain milestones, I give little XP bundles for that, and so when you, so then I split it per PC that was at that session. So the first 3 sessions had 5 players, right? 5 PCs. So I split that by 5. The fourth one had 6 players, so I split it by 6. Tonight's will have 6 players, so I split it by 6. So.
And we didn't get the XP in the last session, right?
You did not get the XP yet. You have to get back to town to get that. Yeah.
That's the other thing. So I'm looking at so we've basically got 4 sessions of XP.
You've gotten 3 sessions of XP that I've given you, right? Because I don't.
You're right.
I don't think I told you the 4th yet. I haven't calculated. I just didn't tell you.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's okay. That's why I'm wrong. Because I was thinking, okay, that's like 150 or so, which seems kind of low. But suddenly, if you get to the 200 and something, then all right, that's kind of reasonable.
So, and the other thing to think about too is, when there's the traditional thing of training when someone levels up, when a PC levels up, and then they have to sort of go off and train, right? Yeah. And so, we might want to have a conversation about how you all want to do that, if you, because I've done that several ways. I've had it where, when a PC levels up, that person, that player meets with me, on Discord or whatever, privately, and we deal with how that happened. And then in the game, that person's gone for a month or a week or whatever, depending on the level, right? And then that PC comes back and they're trained, right? But it's not necessarily done, in a session, right? And I don't necessarily make that PC skip a session, but because in C&C, PCs are going to level at different times, that starts to become like, okay, how do we logistically do this? So that's something that we'll have to talk about as well.
From something I've done with that is I let when we start getting some people cresting over and they get back to town, and we have some people that have gone up and some people that haven't, I let them all do the training while they're in town, so that break happens at the same time, and then the other people will get their full bump when they get enough experience points to get up there.
Right. Right.
Because you normally have people. It's going to be like the next session or two. They're gonna cross that line.
Mhm.
Just an idea.
Yeah, I was going to say that does depend on how much XP, because I like that idea, but you know, there could be 1,000 depending on, right. I'm trying to think what we've got. Right, we've got a rogue, we've got myself. I'm probably the highest, right, at 2,600 for the second level.
I think so.
Right, so that's like over 1,000 XP difference between Burt,
that's like twice as much as
leveling up, and Leanise, right? So that could be 3, 4, 5 sessions.
Right. Yeah.
And then we're going to have other ones in between, obviously, right? Because
Right.
the rogue's the lowest.
Because I'm at like 2,200, so I'll be behind everyone else, just like you.
Yeah. So that's something we might want to revisit, you know, in a couple of sessions when it gets close, because Burt is probably the closest, but you're still about 400 away, right?
Yeah.
Well, in the end, it comes to how you want to handle it, Samuel. How you want to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sort of a traditionalist, right? Like, I'm a player from way back, so I like, you know, stringent requirements about, you know, doing things, but I'm also, you know, well aware that sometimes those things turn out not fun, right? Like, there needs to be some give and take, and there needs to be some player input, you know, to make sure that stays fun for everybody, you know, because I'm in the business of having fun, not in the business of being a taskmaster, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Like, I don't want Alex to have to sit out a week or two because he's training while we're still getting on with the campaign.
Right. Yeah.
So does that mean so if you do that, do we just bring in another character?
Right. So that was where I was going next. Was a lot of campaigns that the way we used to do it was when Burt Longfellow is off, you know, meeting a mentor and training, you know, Alex comes in with a new first level character, right, and hangs out with the group, and then when Burt Longfellow comes back, you know, then that character trades out, or, you know, and so then basically what happens is everybody ends up with 2 or 3 different characters, and they kind of alternate leveling at different times, and, you know, and you end up with this sort of stable of characters that you can play. The other thing that does is it also makes it burn a little less if somebody dies, right?
That's true.
Right.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
You know.
That's what I was thinking, because it also means you've got a couple of characters. Because I've been in a few games where you've had, you know, everybody's had more than one character. There's maybe a primary one, but for whatever reason, right, they bring in the secondary one, maybe because the job fits it better.
Right. Yeah.
That would cover that if you want to do it that way. Because that was always a worrying thing, which is why I skipped it in the campaign I ran. It's like, oh, you level up.
Yeah.
But I hadn't thought about it until you mentioned it. It's like, yeah, no, just bring in another character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I really like that. I mean, adopt that myself.
For sure.
Yeah. The other thing that it does is it allows you to explore different character types, right? So if you're, you know, if you're playing the wacky dwarven, you know, Runemark, and you want to have a different kind of character, then you can always bring that person in.
You got a heist and a scald.
So, but yeah, so those are the sort of things on the table in terms of that. But no, I'm really happy with the way the game's going. I mean, you know, we're in session 6, so you know, we're actually in session 5. This would be session 6, but then I canceled last week. But you know, session 6 is really early for me in a game. But I do like to check in and make sure everybody feels like, you know, hey, this is still fun for me. This is still something I'm interested in seeing through, and I want to see what happens, and you know, so that's that. But yeah, I think, you know, so, you know, it's kind of I also feel like every game kind of has a sweet spot, right? And so once everybody levels a level or two, and everybody's, you know, 3rd or 4th level, except for Leanise, who will still be way back at 1st level. Once everybody and Rekmit, once everybody's kind of third level and beyond, it starts feeling a little more solid, because you are a little hardier and you do have a little bit more experience. But at that point also the challenges kind of get more deadly because you are more capable. So I'm not the type of DM that really balances everything. Like I don't have the world cordoned off. So if you all come out of this place where you're at and you decide to go and follow one of the rumors that you have been looking into, and it's really a dangerous one, I'm not going to tell you, hey, you know, that's too dangerous, you shouldn't go there yet until you're gated level. I'm just going to let your characters go do it, and you're going to have to figure it out based on the clues that you get and that you're seeing around there and the different things that happen to make your character say, you know, we might need to get some help with this, either in the form of some hirelings, or we might need to get a little bit more experience, or we might need to go see if we can find a sage that knows about this that might give us some information, right? Versus just, I don't just decide, oh, well, you went to the east and it's really dangerous over there, so I'll just move all the easy encounters over there to the east. I don't do that. It's a living world. It's all there. There's some dangerous places. And if you just walk in there and try to, you know, manhandle everything and kill it all, well, you might get killed because it's really dangerous. So
no, I like the idea that he got away.
Say that again.
I like the idea that the group needs to know if they're overpowered, they should run away.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought is, I think after that first or second session, we really kind of slowed down because we went, oh, we realized that there is mortality to what we're doing. Leanise, or not Leanise, Zeno would have died if I hadn't actually in the, what was it, not the farm room?
With the scarecrow?
It's the skeletons, right? Or
whichever room it was where I gave him the couple of shieldings and because he took that damage. I think we all went, oh, we need to be a little more careful. We're not as heroic as we thought we were. I never thought it was, but
yeah, that skeleton was a tough thing.
So that
easily could have one-shotted somebody. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing is, like you said, you get the third level. Yes, there's more dangers, but right now we can be one-shotted so easily.
Yeah.
So I've been okay with the pace. I mean, yeah, we'd all have loved to have leveled already, but I mean, you give all the wizards all those darn spells, so it's great. But
yeah,
real stuff is earned. Kidding. No, I don't have but I'm happy to play anyways, just because I haven't played in so dang long. I'm good with whatever you guys want to do.
No, I think it's running well.
It's called.
Just for those listening who might not have their eyes on this, the raffle for the free PDF of your choice from Troller Games web store, it has started, so you can enter yourself in that raffle and win some goodies. Win a nice product, and then you can run a game for me, so I don't have to CK. I'm just kidding. I love CKing.
So how small did that Fae actually end up being when he came back?
Say that again?
The Fae, when he shrank down after going into the green mist, how did he go down to 6 inches or a foot?
Yeah, he was about 7 inches. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got to ask that, sorry.
Yep, 7 inches with a really high-pitched voice, but now he can speak more clearly because his vocal cords aren't like overstretched and all the wrong size. And you know, there's the weird thing about the thing about the Fae is, you know, this is a sort of otherworldly creature, right? This isn't like a mortal creature, and so it has its certain place in the world, and it has its certain tasks that it does, and it has a certain way of being, and so despite the torture that occurred to this creature, tying its wings and damaging it or whatever, like, that's probably not the worst thing that happened to it. Probably the worst thing that happened to it was them making it really big. Because that took its nature and distorted the entire nature of it. And when you have a sort of otherworldly creature that is Fae-based and you distort the nature of it, usually that makes it start to turn evil and have bad thoughts and become a distorted caricature of the sort of tricksy, happy-go-lucky fey creature that is respectable, right? So there's this sort of element of they were trying to torture it by making it bigger and turning it into something it's not, which is a very horrible thing for a tiny fey creature. So that's where that was going, and now that he's regular size, or now that it's regular size, and it can actually voice itself without just sounding like deep wind chimes. Now, don't get me wrong, when it talks, it still sounds like wind chimes and bells and whatnot, but now it actually can form the language words so that you can hear all of them within the bells and chimes. Right, yeah. And the bells and chimes is just an effect of its really weird vocal cords that are based on fey stuff. This is a creature known as a Pandareen, which is from the Monsters and Treasures of Aihrde book.
That's Aihrde, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's an Airdian creature. So yeah, they really by making it larger than it is, they've really distorted it and done a real disservice to this, which is why when it went through and it went back to its regular size, it was so happy, because basically now it's crediting Leanise with, rescuing it from its bondage, basically, because that was such a devastating thing for it. And so now it has to repay that favor. So now it's following you, and it's going to try to do whatever it can to make sure that you are repaid for that great service that you did to it, despite the circumstances, right? Because it was going to become a, distorted, evil, malicious, horrible caricature of what it really should have been. And you rescued it from that.
Uh-huh. So sometimes it's good to be kind.
Anything else? What else do we need to talk about or chat about? Is there anything? I feel like there was something else that came up that we said we would talk about, and I wrote it down, but I don't know where it is on my notes. So, I feel like there was something.
We talked about initiative, but we covered that the other week.
Yeah, and thanks for reminding me about that, because I was thinking that we agreed to switch, but you're right. Alex was right. We did decide to wait until about 3rd level and then switch back over, right?
That didn't make too much difference.
Yeah, not this time.
It didn't make difference this time, so that's the other kind of thing, right? We didn't really have any combat this time, right?
We let Leanise take care of it.
So I guess my point kind of is, we've been very sort of more exploration, lower combat these past 2 or 3 sessions, and so it might make more of a difference to you, or you might see more of a difference as combat sort of becomes more of something that happens more frequently. That's one of the things about pacing that I want to try to change a little bit, is I want to offer sort of more opportunities maybe for combat. I mean, but I don't know how you feel about that. I mean, are you all okay with the more sort of exploratory things that are going on? Or I don't know. I know some people really, really like combat, so I don't want to shortcut us out of combat if we, not that I necessarily planned it, that you would go, you could have gone in a different direction and gotten into combat. So, but,
Right. I mean, I think you just lay the dungeon out where it sounds right, and we're going to explore some, we're going to fight some.
Right.
I wouldn't want to force, okay, I've got to just force a fight in here so they get a fight this week.
Right. Yeah. I don't necessarily, I mean, that's not really my style either. I don't like to do that, but as I said, I also still want to keep it really fun for everybody. And if one of you is, really thinking, man, I would really like more combats, then please let me know, because I can actually up the, I can switch around how I do things a little bit, that doesn't mean I'm just going to suddenly inundate you with combat and make it more dangerous. I'll just make it more obvious where combats are so that you can make the decision, right?
Okay.
But I'm assuming you're rolling random encounters at things like rests and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
that normally takes care of that.
Hey, Alex's dog is wagging his tail, so I think it's good. Everything's good.
Yeah.
See, she heard her name.
Yeah, what's the dog's name?
Greta?
Greta. That'll be our mascot. Okay, well, so it looks like we had a winner for the PDF, right? Let's see who won.
Woohoo!
Who won, Chuck? Who was it? I have to scroll back. Let me see. Oh, it was Retro.
Retro Gamer.
Retro Gamer Meth.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, excellent.
That's good. See, now Retro can tell everybody what a great product he got from the raffle for watching my game. He didn't see it. It's a good thing I announced it. Okay, well, I think that's going to have us wrap up then. So, weather permitting and permitting me not eating something bad next week, we will play next Wednesday, and we will try to figure out how to get you all out of this place that you are. Well, I guess you're not really stuck here. You could leave anytime. So.
Oh, got magic
There might be a glyph I need.
It might be a glyph you need, yes. Yeah, you need to do some research when you get home. Anyway, okay, well, so bye, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Right.
Thanks for supporting Troller Games, and we will see you next week.
Great. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Sam.
See you, everyone. Bye-bye.